is how R.A.W allows me to admit that I don't know and gives me an opportunity to learn.
Hey y'all, this is Vanessa, and R.A.W allows me to be authentically myself while bringing you some cheese and some tea and a little bit of fun.
Hey guys, it's Katie, aka Karina. R.A.W is authentic conversation, and it allows me to be right and wrong at the same time.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. R.A.W Conversations allows me to be aware, to be transparent, and of course, to grow.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday. It's a special day. Shake, shake to celebrate. I'm upset that no one here told me happy birthday.
No one told her what?
Why anybody would tell happy birthday? Is it your birthday?
Your birthday?
Yeah.
It's not your birthday.
It is the government of the United States.
All right, man.
Bye, girl.
All right, man.
Happy American birthday.
Happy American birthday.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I was about to say, girl, you are Aries. What you talking
Thank
about?
you. Through and through, Jella myself.
Wait, what month are we in? I got confused.
Happy birthday. It's my special day. As you can see, I am drinking my birthday juice. Happy Friday, guys. If you are just joining us, we apologize for the delay. We've had some technical issues in the back. But welcome. Please share the show. We are talking about mental health tonight. We have a full panel for you. We are going to be hearing from the men tonight. So please tune in tonight. Share the show. Let's talk. Drop in your comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you are one of our co-hosts in the chats, please drop in your comments. So y'all, how are you guys doing?
We're good. Sorry, y'all. My voice is a little off. The people say I did too much partying, so I have a cold. So I'm off and on today, but we here.
Hey, y'all. I'm excited to be back. I miss y'all. So, ready to get into the conversation. Yes, I did.
So I hear y'all saying y'all had a good time. Where'd you guys go? What did y'all do?
Oh, that business for other explain all I want on the people on the stage. Easy. On the world stage too.
Yeah, y'all co-hosts don't know what y'all doing.
Oh, we was turning up.
We was turning up. Went to Vegas last weekend, celebrate my man's birthday.
And then my husband, to see my baby daddy.
Somebody went to go see the love of their life and was too happy. She saw Usher.
Ooh, how was that, Jennifer?
Oh, that was beautiful. That was an experience, honestly. Like, all the crushing aside, he's a great performer, and the show was really, really nice.
Did you try to risk it all?
Yes, I did.
Small. They had to remind her of my guy. Yeah.
They made him my guy slow down. They let that one say, "Oh my God!" He said, "When that's talking as a small yeah." Then I behave myself. Oh my God! But it was nice.
That's beautiful. That was nice. How are you guys, Thomas?
We're doing excellent. Beautiful weekend. Hectic, of course, but it's all part of the assignment. And then, of course, you have the week of getting back to the farm, and as usual.
And break it down for the people the farm is.
Oh yeah, it's work.
Not a literal farm. It's going to work for Uncle Sam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. Moses, our only favorite man co-host.
So your own you will be laughing when you do your own. You go see your crush, your husband, then not cheating. Then now they elaborate. See your life.
Why did I feel like he was just waiting for
Just
his
wait.
moment?
No, I just look at your all of your and Vanessa co-signing to it. Okay,
Yes.
okay, no problem. We there.
Not
What's
you
up, Faith?
hating.
What's up, Faith?
Viv is hot. She's
How you
cooling.
doing?
Amen.
Yeah, man.
How you doing? How you doing?
All right.
We good.
All right.
We will
Okay,
get those.
before you
We will
just
get
start
those Veda to
sweating,
see our crush in our yell.
so you can come here to see a crush. Don't worry.
So Jennifer went to go see her crush Usher,
Oh,
and that man, he did his thing. Jennifer made it on the world stage. We saw
really?
Yeah,
yeah.
she was on the internet because she was sitting right behind the basketball player that he was serenading.
Mm.
I
Ooh,
was on ESPN and everything.
Hmm.
ooh, that sounds.
I should have just jumped over there.
I
I,
thought she was supposed to risk it all. She was acting gentle.
That's what I said. You should have risked it
You
all.
need to pull a Kiki Palmer, you know.
I know.
Oh, Faith, you join in too. You're cheating all of you.
Oh, I
It's not cheating when he's right there.
Okay.
it's not cheating. It's called having fun.
Okay.
Man,
Well, go have fun too. You don't say la bread at you.
oh God, the man was right there. I
That's
don't
two
even
different
buy the
things.
ticket. I don't even buy the ticket.
You just want to talk about something that two different things. Yeah,
Mm,
Like,
You looking for an excuse for
yeah,
back?
yeah.
When you
That's
get it, you'll be able to take it over.
see,
All right, guys.
someone's like at that tree.
Mm, mm. If you are just joining us, welcome. We are discussing Black men mental health tonight, but before we can get started, we're just checking on everyone, seeing how their week is. It's a full panel tonight. This is a very serious discussion led by my Aries sis. Ching, ching. But we will get into it. Before we do, however, we have to tell you the G's of the week. And so much has been happening in our Liberian community, as you all would not you all, most of you will be familiar with what we starting with, man can talk.
yeah, sure. Steve, don't go too deep on your ball, please. We beg you.
So, Steve.
Well, I think there are some things we got to put in context
Mm-hmm.
because when you in a vein of trying to expose somebody or other people, you got to also be careful as to how you go about that because you could potentially expose other people as well that you didn't probably intend to. What we witnessed or what we heard today from Stanton, first of all, uh, it's not only embarrassing men. You know, I know men to be able to hang out, do things together, and not use political reasons to come and talk about certain things. And on a show last week, I predicted that this thing will go worse. And if you're not careful, some deep secrets could even come out about their personal lives and things that they did together. But you know what's shocking, what's surprising? I see other people sitting on the platform with them and they're excited about it and they're amping him up because at this time they think it will be politically beneficiary to them. But what they don't know is they're also victim to that because the recording that he put out for Costa, and this is in no way, shape, or form backing for Costa, because Costa himself is a crook, you know, and so they are there amping Stanton up. But the truth of the matter is, some of them have been there. So Stanton is sending a clerical message to them saying that if you ever come after me to call me out for stealing, and you've come to that place to collect money from me as well, I will expose you. That's one part of it. But here's the other part that is even concerning to me. Joseph Boyka, who is a quote unquote strict man and wise man, taking money, and he's a presidential candidate taking money from a convicted a confessed criminal, wherein it was against the U.S. and the U.S. is our ally. What does that say about him from a diplomatic standpoint? It's damaging, it's disgracing, it's humiliating, and I think it's about time that we put some standards on ourselves as men and as leaders. You can't just be taking money from people, and this person, is a shady character, and he's involved with shady businesses. This is problematic.
Excuse me, Steve Moses. I feel like when it comes to the money that they were collecting was going towards the elections, right? We've had even people in this country that all the money they get, I don't want to say is all good money. So I don't see what the issue is with that.
Well, there's a bigger issue because this money was not collected. As a matter of fact, the distribution of the money started off back in 2020 when the COVID was.
Before you get into detail, can you just give a little background of like what how this started? Just a snippet of how it started.
Thank you for that. Basically, how this started is the fact that the Stanton man, along with Joseph Yuma Boakai and all these guys, Costa decided that he would support President George Weah, right? Mm-hmm. And Costa comes up and say, he felt as though Joseph Yuma Boakai was ungrateful to him because he met with partners and other people and played with them to be able to provide him with funds to support Joseph Yuma Boakai, And so when he made that revelation, Stanton came out and said, no, I provided the money because Stanton won't take credit, Mm-hmm. And Stanton went as far as saying, there was a 60,000 contribution made towards the Unity Party headquarters because they were about to kick them out of the headquarters or the building or whatever it is. Stanton said, my partners provided money, but the truth of the matter is that not his partner provided money, he lied. He himself provided 60,000, for them to secure the building, right? Costa tried to take credit and say he didn't want to talk to his partners. So fast forward today, we are here. Stanton is saying, no, I gave you 3,000 for yourself, and I gave 3,000 for Joseph Yuma Boakai. So it was not just 3,000 that you said, only because Costa said, well, Stanton, according to Stanton, he was not happy that Costa came in public and said, well, Stanton's going to be going to jail in January for 41 months. So Stanton, it didn't sit well with him, knowing that Costa benefited from some of the same money that he stole, and here is Costa trying to play him. Finally, instead of being sympathetic towards him because other than it and benefited the money. Let me just be honest with everybody watching us. I don't feel sorry for the Costa. I don't feel sorry for the Joseph Yuma Boakai. I don't feel sorry for the Stanton man because you know what? We wake up in the morning to go to work. We earn our living earnestly. This country provides all the opportunity. When you choose to be a criminal and a crook in this country, guess what? There are consequences. This is not Liberia. This is not Africa where you get away with criminality easily or whatever not. So what they are doing is embarrassing. From a man's perspective, I'm very embarrassed, to be honest, for men to just be talking in public in that kind of manner, things that they did in private. They come as, was it spaying the bean? Normally that women, you will find that kind of thing and talking about each other thing that they did. You borrow my clothes, you borrow my food, you borrow my hair. That women don't do that one and men don't do that thing. You know what I mean? So I was bored them out there talking about I gave you 30,000, I did it one, and other people they're laughing too. Some of them who laughing right now, they're next in line because if they ever criticize Stanton about asking money, then he will bring their own video also too that they were there to waiting to beg for money. So it's a hot mess.
Yes.
Truly is. And then everyone's shocked that Costa has decided to support the CDC. The most shocking thing to me is that CPP decided to endorse CDC. So if the vice president that was supposed to be the person that was supposed to be vice president to Mr. Cummins is supporting CDC, I feel that he is also supporting CDC. So suddenly he's saying he's standing by himself and she's going on to support CDC.
Well, you can do that. You can do that from a political standpoint. And the reason you can do that is because each political party, according to the constitution or according to the party, the way it's structured, you have something they call the ECC, the executive committee, right? They make bulk of the decisions. They do. And so whatever the executive decides is even above the political leader or the person who is the presidential candidate or the standard bearer in most cases. However, the presidential or the standard bearer can ask to recuse himself from certain things. So this is what Cummings did. But also, you are right to some extent because this is a strategy. This is a political strategy because, mind you, Mr. Cummings and Sarah Beslow Yanti, along with what's his name, Dr. Moniba, they have put in a request to the NEC to secure the ballot boxes because they want to do a forensic, examination of the ballot boxes to see what really happened. So if he were to endorse, then what he's saying, in essence, he's agreeing to the results 100%. So if you watch today, he was not even present. Now, in political endorsements, your presence at the scene or on the scene substantiate that you are endorsing. Now, if you are absent, if you don't sign up to that, and all of the thing is a sign that you are neutral or you are independent, you don't want to endorse them. So that's what happened today.
Guys, don't get confused. We are discussing Black Men Health, River Says Pro. But we are discussing the G's of the week first. This is why we are talking about Cummings, because CBP made the decision to endorse the CDC, and this is important because our runoff election is scheduled for November 14th. So now we're seeing all these different parties that are endorsing either Unity Party or CDC. So we just want to highlight it really quickly. It's not something that we are staying long on. We just wanted to touch on it really quickly. So anyways, moving forward, we want to also touch on Stanton's sentence. What his name is Witherspoon, right?
Yes.
So if we all know what happened with the whole scandal, where nurses were getting their license the illegal way, and Stanton was behind the mastermind behind all of this, and he's been in court back and forth. Stanton Witherspoon has been in court back and forth, and what was it, yesterday they sentenced him?
No, yesterday they didn't sentence him. Actually, yesterday should have been the sentencing day, but it was deferred to the end of January. And this is not uncommon in these kind of proceedings, in these kind of criminal proceedings, especially when a defendant decides to plead guilty, right? The defendant, he confessed to the crime and he pleaded guilty. So at this point, they got him on wire transfer. Now, here's what's important, what's intriguing, because there are some Liberians who serve as witnesses or testimony for him, right? They provided written records. They provided written record, of him or whatever not, to say the judge should be lenient on him in the sentencing and so forth. I see everybody laughing. I don't know, maybe you need to share so I can help you. What is going on?
Why River Says Paul gonna call Thomas Richmond? Say, is that Richmond on the screen?
Sorry.
Why not bad thing? I read I mean a promotion for him, brother.
Hey, bro. Yes,
that is not Richmond. Okay.
Please.
River Says no. This is your own River Says kind of brother, Thomas. I'm not Richmond.
Let's get that straight.
I had to look at Thomas again, see why he said
it's
that.
The hairstyle.
It's the hairstyle.
All right. Sorry.
So sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
Yeah, kind of think about it. Dude, what's going on? Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that, but looking at, you know what I mean?
Okay, y'all started looking for
I need to see your stay ID, bro.
Yeah.
Funny that I know, yeah.
Go there.
Work on that after, yeah.
Yeah, so back to the case here.
I love the fact his wife was like, no.
So after the confession, after the confession, that's exactly what and so the proceeding today, basically, he knows the expectation, the judge will rule it and so forth. So that means, in other words, if he goes January, more likely, so he's not coming home.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's in this case now. When he goes January to the court for this sentencing, more likely, so they will take him in.
Mm.
Yeah. So that means everything will be settled in January. And if not, if they say the sentencing is 41 months, which is about 3 years and 4 months or whatever not, then that means what needs to happen is what needs to happen is he needs to okay, they got ready again with it correct.
Yeah, Lucy, you read it.
I don't understand what the hate is about. Thank you, my love.
You read it, man.
No, we're not covering on the show here today. Y'all put
Yeah. What talking see right here?
just talking to your mother here. People going to jail for 3 years.
Rich man can talk mental health.
No, I think he had to know.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to unsee it anymore. Every time I look at Thomas, I'll just see it.
Oh my goodness.
Come on, brother. You know what you are doing.
Tuku, you know, to me, my brother can do that style.
Oh, amen. Y'all sorry. Happy Friday, y'all. Life is good. It's good to laugh, okay?
Oh man. No comments from me on that topic.
Oh God. But real quick though, do you guys think that if indeed he gets 41 months, do you think that the sentencing would be fair?
Well, the 41 months are not only restricted. Those 41 months are just the prison time he has to serve. Now he will be on probation for extra 3 years or so forth, right? Then he got to pay something in restitution, couple of millions of dollars. You guys to pay it back. So, the judicial system, especially if you confess, if he had gone through the trial, let's say they went through the court case and all of it, then all of these things will be taken off the table.
Mm.
That means he would have been looking at 20 to 25.
Did they say anything about restitution? Like as far as
yes, the restitution part will come in about a fixed amount, but definitely he has to pay restitution and do some community services.
So I'm thinking that the people that he gave this fake degree to, they can turn around and also sue him individually.
Yes, most definitely, because this is at the federal level for now. So they have the state. If the state decide to press charges, if individual decide to press charges, they can do that. Okay. So this is not totally over yet. This is just the beginning of the federal level. The federal government is dealing with on that level. Then the states also, like Florida, New Jersey, and other places that they obtain these degrees, and individuals can also go ahead and sue.
Honestly, I don't think he's going to serve the full term, especially he probably going to be let out for good behavior or something like that.
He already has the probation already set for 3 years, so not necessarily.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. So even if he has a good behavior in there, that's good. They'll monitor him and stuff like that. But if you were to say let's take him up early, then I mean the 3 years of probation wouldn't have been set. You see what I'm saying? So the one he to basically will say, like, brother, want to eat at time.
Well, do you think that's a fair judgment, though? The time they gave him and everything for everything that he did. I'm just curious if what you're thinking.
If they can get it,
I mean, to some
short time for killing black men, what did they get to?
Yeah, to some extent, the fairness of it from our perspective, I think it just has to do with what's stipulated in the law based on the charges. And then also you get the prosecutor's judgment based on the individual that you're dealing with as well. So our perspective may not even it doesn't even matter whether it's fair or not, because we see around here like some of the cases that the sentencing they get, and you're like, wait, if this was XYZ person, it would have been lesser, or if it was this other person, it would have been more. So it just have to do with the situation, the stipulation as per law, and then how the prosecutors see the response from the defendant at time.
I agree with you, and more importantly, when you add a plea deal, once you go to any court and you take a plea deal, these are some of the things that the government is willing to compromise to as well.
Mm.
Because from what I've noticed too and what I've heard, from a couple of people. It's expensive to keep people in jail.
Yes.
You're talking about taxpayer payer money, and so you find out sometimes some crimes that people commit, for example, robbing a bank and robbing places and things like that. Sometimes people just end up in jail for a couple of months and they go back on bail. And then after a year or so, you hear the same old person went ahead and did the same crime. And it's like, wait, what's happening? But it goes deeper into that where you and sometimes the person who the crime is committed against will have to basically say, okay, I agree, let's do this, let's do that. So there's a whole lot that have to do that come into play when they're making those decisions.
Mm. Well, we've heard it, so we'll see what happens in January. Good luck to him. I have heard that outside of the messiness, he is a generous man. He gives a lot to the community. I don't know if it's Moses making the face. I don't know. This is what I've heard. I don't know. I just know he's
So basically, you're telling us he's Robin Hood.
look.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Faith.
And,
Thank you,
and
Faith.
this is how
Thank you,
abuse
Faith.
have made him to appear. You can't go and steal and kind of do good with what you stole with. Then you say the person's a good person. Doesn't make any sense.
I said I have heard that he gives to his community. How do I know? I don't know, but that's what I've heard. So I don't know. It is what it is, and we're moving on. And we just want to say rest in peace to Matthew Perry. If you watch the famous Friends show, you know that I want to say we lost, but they lost Matthew Perry. What was this week? Yeah, this week.
Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. So we want to say rest in peace. We are praying for his family. We're praying for the entire community that's currently mourning the loss of a friend, brother, and so on. All right. We want to say we are in deep mourning with the families that are, currently mourning the loss of their families who were killed in Maine. We're so sorry. The killer also killed himself, and we will never understand what's going on, why it happened. But we want to say we're so sorry. We're deeply sorry. We've seen this over and over again until it's becoming a norm, right? I'll be scrolling and it'll be like, gunman killed 20 people. I was like, oh, wow. And you keep scrolling because you're so used to it now. It's happening. And all you can really do is continue to pray for the people, pray for yourself, your children, your family, right? This is the world that we live in, unfortunately. And then lastly, before we get into our topic, anybody know about was it Al Pacino?
The Papa Chapo is saying child support for nothing.
Can I say that man's name? Al Pacino.
Why you say anybody know about Al Pacino? That is Scarface.
Al Pacino, that's our man.
Scarface.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry I spoiled your grandpa name.
Don't do that.
You know she never watched Scarface.
Oh wow, no! You gotta get your life.
Y'all not about to embarrass me online.
What?
How dare you?
What?
But let's talk about that $30,000 a month though. I'll take it.
Listen,
I get knew how to get quick money, okay?
You know that.
And when I say quick, because I know the Papa not ain't that long, so.
Woo.
Wow. You guys are-
So
happening today on that show. Oh man.
I am wondering myself.
Hey man, you pay my brother here. Hey, go. Why my brother put their hair on your head today?
But my brother, I hate hairstyle ever since why I been now.
Hey man, Karina, get out of get because I'm over here crying. Okay, give it. Yes, to go.
We're about to put a blog on any comment that have rich men in it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man.
But no, the sad thing is I really cannot unsee it. Oh my god, this is bad.
Go there, go there. Moving forward, let's get into the topic, sis.
Yes. Let me. You want? Should I show the video first?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Y'all don't leave, or we're just showing y'all a little clip. Y'all don't leave. We're about to jump into mental health and black men or just men.
If you can respect it, hold on. Present.
And if you haven't shared the show, share the show.
How come y'all have technical difficulties?
We're having a little
Dun
issue.
dun dun.
And we lost Hawa. SB, let it go.
He's still on it.
Oh, shoot.
The share button didn't want to show up, y'all.
Oh, okay.
So sorry, I didn't want y'all to see the video.
Ah. I just did internet were embarrassed also.
Yeah, I selected it and it's not showing. So I don't know why it acting up on me today.
Well, we could talk through it.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Um,
It's fine. All right. Well, since the video don't want to show, there was a short video that showed hey man, I don't know about real name. I just know his name is Spencer from All American.
Ezra.
Yes, right.
Let's get
But
it.
he basically talked about there was a whole episode they did talking about mental health and black men with mental health, and he shared his experience with being in therapy, and he basically gave how he basically compared it to like being a boxer and you're in a boxing ring and the person is the psychologist is like your coach and they can see everything that you're doing wrong or right, and they're there to tell you what you need to fix and how you need to go back out and handle it the best way, is how he explained his experience with mental health. But before we get deeper into it, let me just read some information. So when it comes to black men and mental health, depression among black men is often unspoken pain that deeply affects the health and quality of life of black people. In fact, the most current review of evidence on black men and depression suggests a prevalence of 5% to 10%. This figure may be much larger as depression is commonly underdiagnosed. Even more, the failure to adequately address the roots of Black male depression is undermining our communities and keeping us blind in deep harm of historical and structural racism. Black men are often overdiagnosed with severe mental illnesses such as schizophrenia, and they are offered medication for their diagnosis, even when appropriate and covered by healthcare. The Black experience is often misdiagnosed for schizophrenia or paranoia by not taking in consideration the Black experience of witnessing police brutality, discrimination, and unethical medical experiments, or the pressures of being a man that often weighs on the Black man. Rarely do Black men talk about their health. They particularly never talk about their feelings or about sources of their insecurities. And we must stop telling each other as men to man up, and we must start telling the truth about how we really feel. African American men and women also must shift a culture that sometimes frowns upon professional help seeking. So, what we're going to do is just go through some questions, and since we have our men here, our men will be the one to address majority of this topic. We'll chime in, but mostly we would like the feedback from the men since we're discussing Black men mental health. So the first question I have for the men on here is, Do y'all feel that black men don't necessarily have feelings?
No, black men have feelings just like any other man from any other race.
How about
Well,
you, Steve?
well, to add up to what Ted said, um, indeed, black men do, but I think sometimes we feel, and based on our culture, our upbringing, we feel that um, people wouldn't care. So we try not to show any kind of feeling or sign of, you know, breakdown because we feel like, we either got to carry the burden, and most of the time people don't care. They expect you to be that man. They expect you to not break down. They expect you to. So it just become a thing that we live by on a daily basis in most cases. So we are even going sometimes to hurt. How many times women can look at men and say, "Did that really hurt you?" How many times? Most times it's the woman wanting the man to come and say sorry, or what they call them, calm them down. How many times? But we do have feelings.
Yeah, Eve's gender, not either.
Yeah, and to add a little bit onto that as well, I'll give you a clear example of something that I say to people every time when I ask them, "Hey, how are you doing today?" And the response end up being no well, I can't complain. And every time I hear that, I'm like, well, who's gonna listen to you? And even if someone listens to you, what are they gonna do about it, right? And some people are already of the mindset that, okay, because that's actually true, there's really no need of me expressing it, so I just hold everything within and try to work on it all by myself. But men do have feelings. We do get emotional, and we do make decisions off of those emotions that we feel as well.
So I
Ladies, do y'all have any input? Yeah, go ahead.
not necessarily input. I think okay. So Steve said women don't necessarily act like they don't act. They expect the men to ask them how they're feeling, and but they wouldn't ask. And I don't know if that's necessarily true because it's hard for men to just to open up. You'll ask, hey, how was your day? And you just have a lot of men that just keep it so surface, right? Obviously, because they know that clearly. I mean, yeah, I can't help you if you told me that I had a terrible day, or if you explained to me in details how you were feeling, I can't help you. But you guys, men don't necessarily just come out and say how they're truly feeling. And I don't know if it's because, and I will speak from the African, from what I've seen, because I'm more familiar with the African men, that how they grew up. Like, if right now, if we were to see a boy crying, it's like, don't cry, like you're not supposed to cry. So I don't know if it's from all of that they've, now they're men, and they're taking on this attitude where you don't need to see me vulnerable, you don't need to see this, I don't need to express anything to you, I'm the man, and I'm this.
Well, to some extent, you made a good point. To a larger extent, when was the last time a woman really asked a man, can I take you out for pedicure? Can I take you out for massage? When was the last time a woman ever did that? You think we don't? You think
Do you
men?
have something against
I
women?
feel like females. I feel like
That's
females do that.
that's not true because I
No,
ask
no,
I ask
no,
my
no,
husband all
no,
the time.
no, no, no,
You're
no,
so extreme with these things, Steve. Like,
no, I don't think
who you dating?
I don't think I'm extreme with this thing. I think these are realistic facts that when we are having conversation on a general, so if 2% of women do it and 98% of women don't do it, we go
It's
with a
not
larger
2%.
percentage. You know what I mean? So I'm saying this to say If you were to ask a woman right now, most women right now, what kind of man would you like? The first thing they will say to you, I want a provider, I want a protector, I want a caring man, I want a good man. You know, you lay all the characteristics to put an expectation on this man. But on the contrary, in most cases, it's not balanced out. If there's somebody saying, "Oh, I want a God-fearing man," you God-fearing?
Well, it might not be taken out for getting nails done, but some women do pamper their men. That is a fact.
And I agree with you. That's why I say in the minority, it's not in the majority.
What study have you conducted in this? I'm just curious.
A lot of different races, culture, especially amongst us blacks or Africans. Most of the times women rely on the men. Let's just be honest about it. This is an honest fact. And so the men are burning. And so sometimes we are burnt out. And then who do we vent to? Who do we go to? Because the expectations are so much on men to the point that even with the guy named, the guy who they keeps comparing with Ted on here, you know, with rich man, right? Let's be honest about that situation. Yes, what rich man did was wrong, but the truth of the matter is rich man was abused. You know,
now that's a whole nother situation. I feel like that should be whoever put their business out there. That one could have been controlled. So let's talk about men in general here. Well, I will agree that some women don't do that.
Most women.
Some. We don't have any stats to prove that. So we're just gonna go with some. We can split it into half. But a lot of men don't like to open up too. So it's not like the women are intentionally avoiding the men. A lot of men don't like to open up. And let's be clear here. Maybe it's not against some women. Some men, okay, just take the responsibility to take all these, you know, issues. But a lot of women, well, not a lot of women, some women don't really put all this pressure on men. That's what I said you should be clear about this kind of statement you're making, because not all women pressure men like this. Just some women, but not all of them.
All right, so Faith, I hear you talking about opening up. There's a reason why men don't open up. Men will not continue to open up if, in the first place, the very first time they give you the chance and open up, you shut them down, or you turn that around. Whatever they open up to you with, you try to use it against them, and they feel like they've been accused of something. Next time they're not gonna open up to you. That's where the wall starts to build, and it's a process. It's a process. Once that wall starts to build, and women, with all the love in their hearts for men, when that's one thing that is very hard to overcome because of their protectiveness for their spouses or for their siblings. Women become so overprotective, and the moment you try to explain something to them, so simple, just only because you want them to hear you out, they go from 0 to 10. And now it's like, whoa, 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 hold on. The only reason why I even told you was so that you could hear me out. I'm venting to you. Hear me out, and that's it. Sometimes that's just all we want, but then it comes back as, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do this next time. Why would they do this to you? So now it become an issue, and then I'm like, okay, when that happens next time, I'll keep it to myself. So that's how we start to build until you can finally see that men will not just say anything to you. We'll just keep going.
I just want to be clear. Mostly, I know you about this week. I just want to be clear. Y'all are saying the reason why you guys don't open up or express yourselves is because of women and how they respond.
Not necessarily women.
I feel like they're saying that's part of it. I don't think they're putting 100% blame.
Yeah, that's part of it. Not necessarily women, but whenever you open up and you don't get the response, or whenever you project something, whenever you give a perspective on something and the response is not welcoming, is not positively impacting, or it's not what you're expecting, you tend to shut down and limit your level of engagement next time with anybody, and that could be anywhere for that matter.
And just add on to what Ted said really quick on this. For example, a man tells you that I feel disrespected and dishonored that you are flirting with other men. You know the next answer that comes up? But you're not giving me attention. Well, other people giving me attention. Some women say that, right? Most times, instead of addressing the issue, people tend to want to turn it to playing the victim, making it about them, especially women. It's always some women always want to make it about them, even when the situation presents itself. For you to once acknowledge that man and say, "Okay, I see where you're coming from. I'm sorry that my behavior caused you to feel this way." Instead of saying that, no, they will find a justify. Some women will find a justifiable reason and say, "But you're not giving me attention, and other people gave me attention, so." But you're not acknowledging that we are hurt, though. We just told you that we are hurt by that behavior. Instead of saying, "Oh, I acknowledge that, I'm sorry." No. Then you go to some people go to the contrary and create an unnecessary argument, justify about it, bringing it back to them as opposed to even acknowledging the man. So then how do you expect now going forward, though, like Ted said, to even tell you something when you're doing something that's hurting us? Because the next thing is you're going to turn it around.
I agree with the guys. I just think that it's not only, I think it's a thing of communication with people, maybe our people, that when it comes to acknowledging feelings, I feel like it's not just a man versus woman thing. I feel like it happens a lot of time in our community. They don't hear how you make me feel when you did this. They just hear and automatically defense mode.
Yep.
So I think that's a thing with us, our upbringing. When I say us, I mean like Liberians in most of us, anyways. And that's a thing that we can't seem to learn how to work on that, and then we pass it on to our children.
So to piggyback off what Jennifer just said, so for both the men and the women, Corina and I was talking the other time and was saying, I forgot what brought it up, and we were just saying that. Do you notice how like people in Liberia, both the men and the women, just angry? Like everybody is just angry. So you have all these people that experience so many trauma. So
Wait. You're taking yourself into my next question. Don't do it. Don't do it.
all right, I'm gonna hold. But okay, I will just get to the point. How do you expect women who I'm not using this as an excuse, but you have to understand that like real women too are also angry for a reason. I feel like it's bullshit. Traumatic people
I
just
think it's black. I think it's black. I think it's black women in general. I don't even think it's just Liberian. I think it's
right.
black women in general struggle and go through a
Mm-hmm.
lot of traumatic experiences as well. So it's like I'm trying to figure out my stuff and then trying to be there for you as well as I'm looking for you to be there for me while you trying to figure out your stuff as well.
So you see typically how we start a conversation, 4 women, 2 men, but you guys are diverting the conversation to make it more a woman versus man.
We're just saying that we're saying that is some of the reason y'all saying that some women don't give the 100% support or usually don't hear you out when you're trying to say, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. It's because too, they haven't dealt with their own trauma or what it is that they're going through as well, or they don't understand how to express themselves or even how to deal with how you're supposed to express yourself, because just how you grown up with, you got to be a man, you can't do this, you can't do that, da, da, da. We see that too, and we feel like, okay, that's the right way a man's supposed to be, until we start learning different, that is not supposed to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I just needed clarity because I know that men also have mothers, right? And I know that men are close to their mothers, but I don't find that they open up to their mothers like that. So I just needed some clarity on that because that's all I kept hearing. I didn't hear anything about like backgrounds. It just all navigated towards that. So I just needed clarity.
And the issue of mother, just before Vanessa brings the question, the issue of mother,
Mhm.
it will shock you that sometimes some people are raised by single mothers. It's difficult as well. You know what I mean? So that man figure not being there, and this is something that people don't understand. But we sometimes we talk about this in therapy and in psychology. It is important for that male figure to be in a child's life, even if you are not together. You know, and sometimes I get a little frustrated with our sisters and our mothers when they so vexed with the man because they separated. Then the man can play a role in your child's life, you know, and they gotta do it in a way that will be dramatic and it takes away from our child. I just want to bring that point out.
No, you're absolutely right about that. Absolutely. Let me just read a few comments so we feel like it look like SB really won't be by the team, but it worked been giving a time. Yeah.
That won't be bad. Yeah.
Ooh. So my boy, as we say, men generally don't respond well to rejection or feeling rejected. Therefore, when a man decides to open up to a woman, it's a big deal for him. Hence, the woman has to be careful how she responds. This could lead a man to not feeling comfortable, or he could feel welcomed, and be more comfortable discussing or expressing his emotions. Um, a lot of people say the same thing. Everyone is going through trauma, and I think I saw River Says Pearl says something about does it contribute to different diseases. As I was doing my research, it did say that it does contribute to diabetes, high blood pressure, all of those things, all the different stress that men have. It contributes to their health as well. Exactly what Thomas said too was another thing I saw in my research. I said anytime you ask a man how he's doing, he will say I'm fine, I'm good, I can't complain. We'll never divulge. Like I think we women are more easier to say, oh, this is going on with me, versus a man would just be like, I'm fine. All right. So the next question I have is, do black men look aggressive, violent, threatening, or angry? Do you think they always look like that?
You're asking the men first, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
They take you on the answer.
first of all, I think it's a stigma that's been put on black men, and part of it also, I wouldn't characterize it as looked angry. I think one of the things that we don't realize is black people, uh, just just the issue of racial discrimination alone in itself is dramatic, you know. And some black men had to endure the back in the centuries when slavery was going on. Some black men had to endure the disrespect and dishonor of even being raped in front of their children and a woman by another man. That's what they used to do to some black men on the farms back in the day. They grab the whole family or mine or part and set in there. If you get a woman, you get children, and set all of them in there. Another man messes with you. So what it does is it messes with the entire family. It degrades you. It takes away your manhood and your value, right? But let's come to current day black men. You see, society have put not only too much expectation on us from home. Like we were saying earlier, sometimes even our own family or people we're in relationship with, the expectation you got to be the provider. You got to be in some relationships, right? Fast forward, you are driving as a black man, you get us as a black man, you don't even know if you're going to come back, you know, because of racial discrimination, right? So all of these things pile up together, you know, it makes you to move protectively, very tense, and so forth. But at a bigger level, I think we black men also, all of these factors it has impacted to some extent our self-esteem, the way we think of ourselves, you know, and the things we do. and the way we act. All of these factors are affected. So we might project as being angry and live as how people have projected some of us to be. Like for example, I always hear suppose say, oh, black women are always mad. And sometimes black women use that and say, I'm a strong black woman. I always let it tell people that black women don't use the word strong, they use black, because black in itself is already strong. So you don't have to emphasize on it, because we have to go through other things that other races will not go through. Let's be honest, we don't take it into context, but it happens. And our children also have to go through that. The segregation, the discrimination. So it's tough out there. So yes, there is this projection on us as angry, but I don't necessarily think we're angry men.
Yeah, so like Steve just said, I'll give it a yes and a no answer also because again it's based off of the perspective that you see it or the time that you see that person. Like we look at the huge word that everybody puts on it, masculinity. Like you have to, in order for people to most of the time consider you a man, if you're always smiling and you're always just so calm, they don't think that you're manly, right? They expect you to put on that type of frown face and always be serious and have a certain body type. You should look a certain way. You should walk a certain way, and all of those things. So at the end of the day, that has some men coming up and saying, okay, if that's the case, this is how men should look, and I'm always going to have this posture that project me to be a man instead of just, oh, I'm going to smile, every time I'm out, I'm going to practice smiling. And that way, every time people see me, they smile on my face, relieving some of the tension because the more you smile, you're relieving the muscles within your in your face and everywhere. So it helps a lot to make you look different. But if you're always frown, you notice that your face is just getting messed up. Like I remember when I was a little younger, we used to say being disrespectful and being rude, both of them at the same time, because to some extent we're like being rude is different from being disrespectful. But if you're both, it's like it puts up. You have a dull look. Those attitudes, those behavior cause you to have a dull look because there are things that you're doing. They're coming out from a place in you that they don't need to be coming up of. It's not natural. Or for some people, it's natural, but because it's not coming out from a good place, so it's causing an effect on your physical body that you yourself you're probably not even paying attention to. So pretty much that's a yes and no for me because it depends what position you find yourself.
All right, Faith, you want to bring your thought you were bringing before my question?
No, I think I already my brain are wired that way. That's turned up already.
Highlight Thomas's comment because
highlight who comment?
Thomas' comment he made earlier that interracial.
Oh, he said most interracial relationships are stressful. Why is that?
Or less stressful.
Less stressful. Black on black dating is like black on black crime.
Yo. Why? Why is that? Because the Caucasians be like, okay, you want to, okay. That's why.
Can we just bring it to the conversation of trauma and why maybe why black women might respond to certain things differently to men, to black men differently than a white woman would? Is it because of trauma? Could it be?
We already know why.
I mean, you can put some of that on cultural differences as well. Because definitely you have people coming from different places. You get growing, you have someone from Jamaica. You put those two together. Yes, we're black, but it's two like countries that have some kind of foundation of trauma compared to if you put a Liberian together with an American. Like this, they brought up different cultures. The ways of responding to things is different. One culture probably respond and react, and the other culture probably react and don't even respond at all, or respond but don't react. And so a lot of those things will happen in a interracial relationship because of the culture.
Child, all those mixture you just named is like the same Liberian people in the flesh. Liberians and Jamaicans and Liberian American. They all I feel like
I
it's the
think
same
I
kind.
think you're better to take it to white and Asian
I
or
was hoping you take it out because I'm just like Liberian is they're the same
because
people.
they ain't no better.
But I feel like interracial relationship where is black man and a white woman is different versus a black woman and a white man, because a black woman, yeah, her she's gonna be used to how she would speak to a black man. She's gonna give that to the white man, and he may redirect her, but it's gonna take a while. She's not just gonna be like, you know what I mean? Like, because like Steve says, strong. Most of the time, the personality is like, like. So maybe when I never dated a white guy, but maybe if I would still come as me, and then he probably would just change his tone to try to make it like bring it down a little bit. Versus the black man, oh, you want to go there? I can go there with you. So it's like, not saying all white men are gonna speak like that, but I'm just saying I think it's kind of different, Thomas. Go, you
Well,
want to say you want to go to where woman that way you want to say
let
it?
me let me let me let me put this from personal experience with patients I've dealt with, white women, black men, white women. One of the things I've noticed is, and I don't try to put it, I don't try to bring it, because in therapy you can't tell somebody divorce the person, you can't do that, right? But from what I've noticed is, in most cases, either the man who is a black man with a white woman, we have to give certain rights out, or the woman who is a black woman will have to give certain rights out to that white man because of the natural phenomenon in the head of inferiority complex. For example, you will hear some of our people say they are dating a white man. In other words, the way they respect that white man, they will not respect the black brother that die. In some situations, in some cases. And I'm saying this because I see some of the abuses that are even discussed in counseling or in therapy that some of our sisters and our mothers undergo. They wouldn't take that from a black brother, like Jennifer said. Oh no, they will want to stand their ground. You know, so I mean, it can go both ways. Again, to each his own on this part when it comes to who you will be with. It's just that there are some things from a cultural standpoint that you are going to be willing to give out if you go with another culture. There are some things you must be willing to give out because they're not going to tolerate certain things. Vice versa, whether you man or you woman. So if you choose to go with a different culture or a different tribe or a different race or a different religious person, just know that you have to compromise something. It can be the typical Labrador to Labrador. That means you can be yelling over me in the horse and the other person yelling. You can be doing that, like Jennifer said. One person got to tune it down and the other person, yelling that.
I just want us to look at Favor's comment. It's so true. Like if you look at whether it's your brother or your spouse, you look at their baby pictures, they it's true. And then now I don't know what, like I'm not saying that it's every single man, but for the most part, it's like it slowly fades.
No smile. And
But
I
you know, but
yeah.
one of my favorite thing, I swear, is when I hear a man, a black man, crack up. Like the world kind. Like they're laughing when they're hitting their friend. And I love to see it. I really do. When I'm in Liberia, I can just be happy. Because if people get dance, they get laugh.
They really
They get so emotional.
yeah, they do.
They
And
do.
sometimes they even hold hands and we're looking at it sideways, but that's just how they be. They take showers together sometimes. It's what it is.
Look how Moses face. I'll tell you.
But you
I'm
know,
just
it's
saying,
someone
like,
with somebody friendly.
they're not thinking too much into like the things that we hear, just so much worry about that is impacting our kids, like our sons and the men here, and so
Well, that's because it's not so ingrained like how it's ingrained here from very, very small. The children are of they're impacted with gender change and sex change and transition and all of those different things from very small.
My God, SB out there shower with another guy when you're small, not big SB now.
right.
All right, let me move on to my next question. Do you feel as Black men there is a weight on your shoulders due to race?
The men, y'all start. Like,
But yeah, but they got a thing on how to respond.
Yes, most definitely there is a weight on our shoulders. And let me say this. Maybe it might sound a little weird, but the weight can be positive or negative. Let's just be very honest.
Can you repeat the question real quick?
Sure. As Black men, do you feel like there's a weight on your shoulders due
So that
to
that
race?
SB Benin Star Wars show.
Come on, but SB say repeat. That man, SB wanted to hear the question. He saw a big.
Where for that is our true.
What happened here?
Where
What
for that?
happened here?
You swear that you prioritizing black men
Yeah,
to them.
man. Really, not lie. Really prioritizing.
I'm trying to be a good host here,
No,
y'all.
no, I'm Vicky. I stay in a
Very
corner
good.
for SB business. I
Yeah,
beg
in
you.
about mama we take it. There is a weight though, and a weight can be negative. And I say this to say, when in the context of positive, whether it's from a racial standpoint, whatever it is, there is an expectation already set of us as black men. There is an expectation that we would live a certain way, that would abide by certain rules and certain laws that other people might not have to abide by, right? So that weight is there, and in some cases too, the expectation is our children will look up to us. We will set the tone, but on the contrary of it, on the bad part of it, you know, some people see us as so losers that we can amount to anything, especially other cultures or other religion or other races. They'll see some of us as black men as losers. We are probably just drug dealers. We can't be professionals. We can't be this. We can't be that. So they have this low expectation of us. So then again, that weight also comes in because now you have to swim or you have to fight to prove, to prove them wrong. So that weight is always there, whether it's from a positive or negative side. And then to a larger extent also, when our sisters don't value us or whatever it is, the white women value us. I know that part you don't want to hear, but that's just true. They like us.
Man, move.
Okay, let me do that.
I like to hear it.
No.
You think white men can value people too?
Oh, easy. Yeah, Lord.
Oh Lord.
Wow.
SB, you'll be okay.
Thomas respond.
Yeah. As you already said it. A societal expectation. Society expecting men to do things or be a certain way, and based on that, and based on your upbringing as a man, you want to prove society right. I always say when I have conversations with people, listen, there's society's expectation, there's the biblical expectation based on where I find myself in that struggle all the time. And so when I'm talking to people off of those things, it's always a comparison between what the Bible expects of us as believers, or based on this conversation now as men. what we ought to do as husbands, as fathers, as brothers, as sons, and then compare that to what society is saying that men ought to do or ought to be. When you look at it, you always on the defensive end trying to prove yourself, trying to get over on the offensive side because you want to make sure that whatever society has said you cannot do, you want to push hard enough to make sure that you accomplish it. Um, Black men in our community, in our society, for example, when we're driving, we're always looking over our shoulders. We're always looking over our shoulders. Our white friends, they don't care. Black man is driving on the highway. He's always looking at his speedometer to make sure that it's in comparison with whatever the speed limit is because you want to stay within guidelines. And so all of that is just so much that you have to deal with. So yes, there's enough weight, some that we can handle, some that we can't even handle, but we're just going by the grace of God.
Hmm.
Thank you, Byron. I appreciate that. For all those that think that somehow white women value you guys more. Thanks.
Byron, I disagree. If you got a Mandingo, yes.
Well, I mean,
If you got a Mandingo and you don't got money, Byron, some rich white woman will take you.
did I think that man
But
said
that's the
that?
way looking at
That's why I
that
said that
lie.
man said that thing. Did that thing.
That
I
what?
feel I feel like they will enjoy it for a while, but time comes they
Yes.
will be the same person that will turn around and be racist towards
Y'all
you
haven't
as that
seen.
person.
Y'all
And be
haven't seen.
embarrassed of you.
Y'all
Thank
haven't
you.
seen
Embarrassed.
Maury. Y'all haven't seen all these shows. Then they don't care. They will still go there. They will be against their parents' will and all of that.
Yeah, but I feel like it will be temporarily. When push come to shove, they will
Or
still
maybe
end up turning
maybe
around
not
being racist.
marry, but
Mm,
they have
yeah,
babies.
yeah, they will. Yeah.
And I mean, say that man said it yet that
What you say?
you will come around. Hey, I don't say married, then I have to what talking about married. I said white women left black men. That's why I said. I said,
Yeah, he give it to you the way you want it to say it, but he's telling you what he means.
hey, I'm talking about the tattoo and all the different things.
Maybe
Thank
they
you.
won't marry. Maybe they won't marry. I take it back. But
All right. My next question for y'all is, why is prioritizing mental health for Black men important, starting from childhood? Like going from the childhood part of you have to be a tough guy. You can't cry. So why is prioritizing mental health for Black men important?
Well,
Well,
go ahead, please.
so the first thing to that is when you're in a good state of mind, and as a father, your sons are looking up to you. And we talked about the importance of a father being in a home. That's an expansion of what a good society looks like, right? So if the home is healthy, if the black men are healthy mentally in the homes, you wouldn't have young men coming out in the streets and not knowing how to act. The father will be able to then say to a young black man coming out, say, listen, when the cops stop you, even though you may be right and you didn't do anything, sit there and listen for the couple of minutes that you're there for and save your life and come home, and then we can make a decision on what to do next. Go to court or take it up with the law. There's so many things that can happen. So the positive that I see in that is that you have a healthy family, and that expands into the society, and we end up having more healthy families in the society and a great society.
Well, let me get clinical a little bit with this,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll bear with me. So, the National Alliance for mental health. When you look them up, they're termed as NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illness. I'll get to the numbers, the poll for Black men and so forth. But I think the issue of Black men seeking mental health help or so forth, it doesn't start with taking the young children to the doctor to go check them for the mental status. It starts with even the two parents. Because when a woman is pregnant, most times people don't know. Someone we're not aware about these things until we got educated. Whatever you do to that woman at that time, whether you abuse her physically, mentally, however, it affects that child. So the issue of mental health or mental illness starts from there. It does not necessarily start when the child is born and the child sees you beating the mind in front of them. That's the place it starts. So I think men, especially Black men, need to be taught how to behave and how to manage themselves in that time, right? That's the first step. The second step also is children learn from their parents right there, right? So we as parents, especially fathers, stop calling your significant other, your wife, however you want, whatever title you got going on, stop calling them the B word, start hitting on them, start fighting with them, start making, the children are young, they see those things. They adapt to them, they think it's normal. And y'all start fighting in front of them. Y'all start breaking things in front of them. Y'all start cussing each other in front of them. Y'all stop it. It's not good for the mental health. The other part about it also we have to be careful about is when we send our children to school, you have to be careful as to who the school psychologist or who the school therapist is. Because of the racial discrimination, sometimes they will see our children and they diagnose them with certain things. Please don't be afraid. Don't be afraid as a parent to just automatically succumb to it and say, oh, your child need to be on the medication or this one, that one. No, don't do that. I'm saying to you as a professional, tell them no. You will not die. You will not go to hell. Tell them no. You either want a second opinion or you want someone maybe from your race to do that diagnosis. And the reason for that is this. When our children are younger, especially the Black children, they have so much energy. They will bounce around. And in this country, the milk that they get the children is so sugary as well. It makes them hyper. They will bounce around, they will jump around, whatever it is. What needs to be done is that energy needs to be redirected either into sport or something to help them. Please stop rushing and making your children to go take medication. It messes up with their mind. It does. I had to literally confront someone. And I debated with this psychologist for a minute. And I told them, no, your diagnosis is wrong on this child. This approach should not be used. This should be diverted. And if you put this child on medication, you are setting the child for failure because the child gets addicted to this medication and it impacts their life for the rest of their life. You think the children are they gave to the state and they began state at war. You think that they were not normal, they were normal. But when you start to take those medications, automatically your body becomes addicted to them. Your system, it impacts your system. Here's the last part of it also that I think we as parents also need to understand. And I think as part of us growing, we need to get to the point where we prioritize our children. It's critically important. We show them love. Yes, it's okay for you to do 3 jobs to pay the bills, right? But it is also okay for you to make time for the children. Please take your children to school. You will not die. Don't say, oh, they're coming in the bus. Make breakfast for them. You will not die. It helps. Let me tell you something. There's a course I teach for nursing students. You must take that course before you go into nursing, before you start your actual nursing program. It's called Human Growth and Development. And in that, it teaches you the different stages of human growth. At the very first stage of your child's life, you have to bond with them. Because if you don't bond with them, you don't create that connection. That's why some of us are big as we are, don't get along with our parents. Because that bonding or that connection was not there from the beginning. Yeah. And once you lose that within the ages of 0 to 2 or 3 years old, it is gone. That's not something that you can fix again. that dysfunction starts. So when you think that you are a young girl and you got to put on all that makeup and you got to be sending the child to the babysitter every weekend because you got to go party to look for that child, brother or sister, you need to cut the crap out and get serious.
You know what? It's looking for the brother and sister for me.
No, this is serious because all the mistakes that we have, we abandon our children, or when you think that you have to get a child. So I see some parents, I think that is smart. Oh, I'll just get a medication, a child sleep, I'll go. Listen, bond with your children. It is critically important. It helps with the mental health. Let them know that they're secure, they're protected, they're loved, mommy's there. Even if daddy is not there, make time for them. Don't say, oh, that useless part, he left when you get a new woman. So, no. Do your part. Bond with your children. So all of these things help the primary mental health, right? But then as we grow older too, let me say this. It is okay. I will always say on the show, anywhere I go, it is okay for you to seek mental health. It is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. If you are not comfortable with a Liberian person or somebody who is of your race caring for you, go pick another race. Please go do it. And don't think mental health thing, going to seek counseling or therapy mean you crazy. No, that's not true. And please, when you come to seek mental health or counseling, that's not a place for you to go argue and justify. Be open-minded. Maybe there are some things you need to learn. So all of these things help. It's okay for you to make use of it. Even at your job, people don't even know that they offer.
They're offering, yeah.
Make use of it. Start saying, "Oh, I'm not going to that web thing, man. That thing and that thing." No.
Real quick, Steve, for therapy, right? Can you tell us what it does? Like, some people think that it doesn't resolve their issue. The issue doesn't go away. But can you just clarify, like, what therapy does?
So I heard somebody call me and said something to me that made me laugh, right? The person said, just speaking of the same rich man, CC, the person said, CC's quote unquote, CC say her therapist say for her to be coming on Facebook every day is therapeutic for her. And I told that person, I said, whoever therapist that said that, if CC calls that therapist name, I will make sure that person loses the license. That person can never tell her that. Because our goal is not to tell you to use one bad thing to get rid of one bad thing. No, that's not the goal. You can be hurt and be in a traumatic situation. Then we say go make yourself more hurt or amped up to solve your problem. That's not. So the goal of therapy normally, to be honest, is just simple. It's for you to come there for all the process what's going on with you. So, for example, if you are somebody who likes to argue, who likes to justify, you come to therapy, you don't believe in it. One of the very first modality I will use with you, or most times we're trained to use, is termed as the motivational interviewing, where it will really ask you who you are. There are some people that are 40, 50 years old. Do you know that up until now they really don't know who they are? They don't. They're successful, they're living, they're moving around. So therapy is meant to help you. Therapy is meant to explore what you are going through and what are other options that you can use to manage or cope with that situation, as opposed to using negative things. Let's say, for example, some people are depressed, and you know what they use? They use drinking as a way to cope with their depression. Some people normally they're shy, they're insecure, and so forth. But I'll say this to you. When you come to therapy, we explore what's going on with you. Let's say, for example, someone walks to me right now, and I ask you a couple of questions based on your response, or we have different tools that you can do. Like there is something we use called the GARD 7, GAD. Now it's an inventory, it's a tool that we use to test to see your anxiety level, right? So if you come on, if I give you that GARD, I'm not going to read a question to you unless you are illiterate, right? I can read a question to you and tell you what it is. But if you can read and write, you will answer the question realistically. The questions are made in a way that you can lie on it. Even if you choose to lie, you will still expose yourself, right? So when you answer those questions, what that GARD tells me, it tells me that you are exposed or you have some form of anxiety, right? Now, I'm not going to say to you, I will diagnose you with anxiety. But what I can diagnose you with is something called adjustment disorder with mixed anxiety and depression. So in other words, you got a big title, adjustment disorder, but what we're going to be working on your anxiety and your depression. So I will ask you, do you drink to calm you down to sleep? Or do you drink to forget your situation, whatever it is? You say, yeah, every time off, I can take my shot in, I can call my shot, whatever it is. Okay, that's fine. Right? It's not a judgmental place, right? So I understand what you are using as a remedy, but it's not healthy for you because that drinking could lead to addiction. It could lead to other health issues that you don't even know about, right? So these are things that we do in therapy, and it's very confidential because you sign a paper, I sign a paper. If I come on air or I go in public and talk about your issue there, do you know that you can sue me? So every one of us have to possess a liability insurance for about 3 million up. Because if I expose your privacy, if I expose your name in public and say somebody came to me because of marital issue, and I call your name, and that is traceable, oh, I'm done. So the level of confidentiality is very high. So again, go seek help if you need to seek help. Facebook is not therapy. Facebook is not counseling. When you come and explain your husband and the other person cheating and that other person doing it on Facebook, when you go back home, and I won't be crying again in the hall because they're not there. So that's what counseling or therapy does. It helps us. And I would even encourage someone, the pastor there, to go see therapy because they are not trained to do so. So when you go to the pastor there and they're telling you, say, oh, let me provide counseling for you, you have to ask them, what kind of counseling are you providing for me? Is it spiritual? Because your pastor is not trained to do physical counseling. Even the spiritual counseling, some of your pastors need to go to school for it. They need to get something they call CPE, clinical pastoral education, and they need to four segment of it for you to be able to practice to provide spiritual counseling. So all the things about the pastor can tell you, say, oh, and y'all just pray, that love, that scam. That's not true.
Yo.
He lied.
Wait.
Let me ask you this. Is it okay for men to be open with other men or form a community where they can, hang out, talk to one another? Does that help where it stabilizes their mental health?
So you are talking more of support group. It's different from therapy. So we can create a support group where Teddy and other men, we can be online, just talk, right? Mm-hmm. But what we're talking in there is restricted. It's not confidential. Because God forbid, if Ted come and say something in our group, anybody can take it wrong way, right? But on a secure level, you want to go to therapy. So yes, you can form a support group. Support group can be formed for anything. Even the AA and the AA group that people can go to, the Alcohol Anonymous groups, those are open groups. You can go there. You don't have to share. If you decide to share anything personal there, whoever is running the group most of the time will tell you they're not professionals. But if there is any professional running any kind of group, like let's take for example where I work right now, I run a group called the Anger Management Group from the state, where hardcore prisoners come there, and you gotta make them to rethink things, right? So if their way of doing things, let's say for example, somebody walk there and tell you, say, when my girlfriend cheat on me, I can kill her. Or I've been in jail for 20 years because I killed my first girlfriend who cheated on me. And they're saying that to you with straight face. They're not laughing, they're not joking. And you check the criminal record, that's exactly what they're there for. It's not a joking thing, right? So how do you process things with a person who has been in jail for 20 years? The only thing they know that they life in prison, they come outside. How do you work with them? And what I'm saying here has nothing to do with medication. Therapy, there's stages. There's a stage where I will recommend you for medication. But there is also a stage where there can be no medication, psychotherapy, so that one are just the talking and the normal day things and so forth. So yes, so support groups are very important. They're very temporary, as we said, true. But long-term therapy needs clinical professional people to help you with it.
Let me ask either one of you this: Have any one of you been in therapy before?
I have not been in therapy before.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I went.
But there are certain measures that, or certain things, like Steve is saying, certain things that I have done personally for myself, right? I've sat down, took time, and basically reassess my life and my situation. And some of the things I reached a point where I'm like, okay, it does not need to be there. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to move past that. Some people are able to do that for themselves and move past it. Some people you cannot do it. You have to go and see someone. There used to come a time where, and I can tell anyone, even with the issue of counseling as well. Counseling is good, but you have to first accept after you've done the assessment of yourself of what you're going through. You have to accept it and then be willing to act upon it because it makes no sense for you to go and sit there and go through all of that and you go back to doing the same thing. So when I always say when you have to work along with another person, say for example like a spouse or so, and your spouse is not willing to implement the recommendation from the counselors or from the therapist, then it makes it hard for you to want to go back with them next time to have that conversation because it's like, okay, we went there first, we came back, no change. What, like, it's a waste of time. But yeah, I have done a reassessment for myself at one point, and I have gone out to talk to one person, but and that was it. And I walked out with the recommendation, and I went back and prayed to God, and I said, okay, it happened, it happened. I'm here for it.
Well, I have been to not therapy, but we had something for work. And there was an IOP psychologist who came, and we just kind of processed. It was in a group form. We kind of process, basically from a leadership standpoint, the different things that needed to change. But I've never been on a one-on-one therapy or no, I haven't. But I think it's very good.
Mhm. Yeah, if you're in the comments and you've been through therapy, you just drop and let us know what that did for you, specifically in your journey and all that. Um, Vanessa, sorry, I'm like, go ahead.
No, man. I get
And,
what
and,
you.
and, and just so we know, there are different types of forms of therapy. Some of them are general mental health. So that means you talk about depression, you talk about schizophrenia, you talk about uh, uh, what you call it, bipolar disorder, all of these disorders. Now, there are actual trauma therapy
Mhm.
that, we use different methods. We use things like, people who have been raped, who have been through sexual assaults. We use things like, the EMDR. We use things like the what's the trauma therapy, another trauma therapy. But basically, when you get there and you get to that, maybe some days I'll share one or two photos with you guys so that you guys can see the environment, just the room, right? Just to see I'll share my office space so you can see the way it is set up. You know that you are coming there to have a conversation to feel safe and secure because the atmosphere in the room and everything got to be set up for that. So let's take, for example, if I want you to reprocess your trauma and I bring you in that room or in that setting, the light will not be shining like that. You're not having bright light and things. It's calmer, it's very soothing, it's relaxing, and we make you relive some of those traumatic experiences you've been through that you see on the TV.
Mm.
We're trained to do that. And it's very effective. It's very, very effective. I've seen it work. I've seen it help people. I've seen it to the point where people were really going down the drain, but they use those different skills that were taught or that they learned and help them move their life or their relationship from one point to another. It helps though. It's really good. It's very effective.
Mm. Vanessa, can you read some comments?
No, man. Are you inside? Oh, God. SB said he has, and it was the best decision that he made given he was going through at that time. He also said he had family counseling therapy and anger management, and he's just being honest that it changed his life. And Christine also said it's good, it helped me heal and learn to deal with the person. So it looks like it for the people that have had it, that it helped them with their situation.
I know we've been talking a lot about therapy, but I just wanted to. This question played on my mind before we move forward, and I think I'm not sure. Maybe not to Steve, but to Thomas. Based on your upbringing and this whole in the whole point of mental health, because I know you're a father to two boys. Um, is there when it comes to parenting, do you feel like you're doing something different with your boys than your like how you was raised?
Yes, yes. And the reason why I say yes is because you learn, and when you learn, you implement what you learn, but you evolve with the implementation. You learn to become better. There's something that our parents used to say, and I think some of them still say it. My grandmother didn't, for example, my grandmother didn't buy me a car, and so I'm not going to buy my child's a car. Or my grandmother did not do this for me, so I'm not going to do this for my child. You're going to have to work for it all by yourself. So those are some of the things that some of us went through. I went through a time where I would say, and like I said, my dad always used to say, like, you got to work for your own, right? But I'm in a state now where I'm raising my boys, and that is not the mindset that I have. My mindset is all about creating generational wealth for my boys. And so whatever I'm doing now, the asset that I'm working on trying to put together is for their benefit and for their children's benefit. So that they understand that you work for your children to live, not to suffer, right? But notwithstanding, they have to understand the value of what they're going to be earning, inheriting. So that's the major piece. That's a tweak that I see myself making. But apart from that, every other thing, I do take a lot of copycat stuff from my dad and my mother. I just improve on it a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking that before we moved on because I was thinking like for example, like my husband I have two boys. I have a 17-year-old boy and a 7-year-old boy. So I remember
Damn,
um
10 years.
I remember when my oldest son was younger, I felt in the stop crying your boy. I felt I did that. I said that to him. And now, you know how they always say, now that you know better. But believe it or not, even though I said those things to him as a younger boy, because he was more like he's more emotional, he expresses himself a lot. So vice versa with the younger one, it's like if you hear him crying, that means something. I mean, when I hear him crying, that means something really happened. Like he's hurt. He's not just
Yeah,
gonna be like, "Oh my God, this person did this to me." No, when he cries, that means something really. Versus when my older son, he was just, cry a lot. But I'm teaching the younger one now. I don't say, "Don't cry, you're a boy." I don't say that. But even though I said it to my son at age 17, he still cries. Still shows it emotions.
19 number.
yeah. With the
But
with the
I think
issue of
it has
crying.
to do with
So
his. I think it has to do with his dad too, because my husband can show his emotions as well.
yeah, yeah. With the issue of crying, like I will definitely tell you, I do cry, and I encourage anyone to cry. Um, because what that does for you is it relieves you from the pain that you don't know that you're feeling, right? You may not want to cry in front of people, and so you probably want to find other ways of doing it, like there was a time that I saw myself working, and I was just, when I say overworked, that's that's what I went through for 6 months without taking breaks, without taking a Saturday off, without taking days off, and I just kept going, and I got to the point where you could see the tiredness all in my face. Everyone that I work with could see it, and one of my associates looked at me and she's like, it's okay to cry, right? It's okay to scream. And she was like, go to the restroom, shut the door, run the water, and scream, cry, and wash your face, and come back out, and let's laugh it out. I'm like, yo. Luckily for us,
I'm a
we
man.
had a yeah we had a basement. And so I went all the way down to the basement section of the building, in the bathroom, ran the water, locked myself up, screamed as hard as I could. No one heard me in the building. And I cried however I wanted to, wiped my face, went back up. Guess what? Started taking my clients again. Boom, 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 boom. But it felt good that I let it out.
Right.
It felt good that I let it out. And so, moving on now, I tell people all the time, if you want to cry, cry. If you want to take time off, if you want to walk around the building, do that. There's this thing that I do. I try to do every day when I go to work. Every 30 minutes that I sit with the client, if I have to sit with one client for more than 30 minutes, I'm waking up on my seat. I'm going to try to wake up at least every 30 minutes, walk around and come back, because I'm trying to free my mind. The moment you sit with one person for 30 minutes doing one thing, you start having brain freeze. And if you do that too long, it start weighing down on your body. Most people don't realize that, they don't notice that, but it has effect on your production and on the results that people are expecting from you. And so I do that, and then I also get out of the building completely and walk around the building like I'm doing an inspection. And people are looking at me like, "Are you okay?" Yes, I'm fine. I'm doing my exercise. But the time I'm taking to walk around the building, I'm relieving the tension, the stress, whatever it is that's happening. I'm rethinking what happened from the morning hours to that time, and just start off fresh.
Nice.
Right. You see, that's what Byron said about the haha crying in front of your lady. Haha, that's really hard to do. I don't see myself doing it. I have an issue with that. Like, I don't understand, and maybe Steve, you can maybe to understand why is it hard for men to cry in front of
One of
your
the
yeah,
ladies,
in
right?
front of your ladies, in front of your significant other. Like, so why do something traumatic have to happen before? And the reason why I say that he will catch me talking about him in the background, but
You were
but that was
watching.
right. But that was like the case here. Like I was always saying, like I didn't see you cry, I don't see you cry, I don't see you cry, and it took like two back-to-back traumatic things to happen for me to see it. But like, why does it have to get to that point? Why are y'all not vulnerable enough to let loose in front of us to
Because
just
it goes
to
back
cry?
to what I was saying. You're a boy. Stop crying.
I see
Yeah,
as you.
I had to tell my mother-in-law before to stop saying that to my 5-year-old at the time. Like, it's okay to cry. Let him cry. Let him be expressive, because this is when it starts. It starts at such a young age that we start to tell them, "Don't cry, you're a boy," or "Don't express your feelings too much." Why you baby? Or the favorite saying is, "Why you babying a boy?" It's not babying him. It's just allowing him to be expressive,
Oh, how are
because that's
you?
when men, if you
I
don't
want
allow it
to
at this stage, when they
I
get
want to
older, they
listen to
hold
the
it in.
voice. How are you? Oh, how are?
Yes, sorry. I just had my last person leave. I sorry. When I was getting on the show, somebody was entering the house.
At least you were on with it. You know we're talking yet.
Yeah,
Oh no, it's been on. Even though the
okay.
conversation, the show's on.
All right.
No, but even the cry that I speak of with my husband, it had to do with death. I'm not saying
Yeah,
it's
and that's what I'm saying. It was
yeah.
like
I'm saying like something
it
like
was
I'm
two deaths back to back that I
yeah.
had to see it, and it's like, why don't y'all get into a space where, like, when we get into our feelings, like, we will let it out? Why don't
Yeah.
y'all get into a space too of comfortableness to, like, let it out in front of your spouse, your girlfriend, however? Steve can answer
So,
that with me.
so I think there are a couple of factors that could be the cause. Yes, I agree with both Hawa and Jennifer that it could probably have to do with how the person was raised and where they were told when they were much younger, right?
Mm,
It's also a cultural piece to it as well. You but not everybody was raised, or that not everybody can cry. Let's just put it that way naturally. Some people, it's hard for them. Like some of us, me personally, maybe I wouldn't tell you how many times I've cried in my life, right? It's not because I can cry.
You can cry, Steve. Cry now.
Exactly. So we are exposed to that, to telling our children it's okay for them to cry because this culture here, this environment, and what we know now allows us to teach them,
Hmm.
right? Maybe back home, that's not how we are taught. So you walk around and say, shut up, let me hear it.
Mm.
So you just gotta suck it in. So over time, it's become part of your norm because that's how we are as humans. When
mm.
you teach us certain thing, people can say I become numb to it. It becomes part of your norm and it becomes part of who you are, right? But on the contrary, here's it. You know, some men don't also want to feel vulnerable. And let me say this though. Allow it to play out. Stop trying to wish that he cries in front of you.
I even wish it because when it happened back to back, I was confused. I didn't even know what
Exactly.
to
So so
do. I
so
was
so
like, "Whoa!"
that part of life allow nature to take its
Yo,
course,
Byron.
right? Because most men we feel that this is a vulnerable moment. What? Let me just be honest. That there's certain things that maybe people don't take, women don't see us, right? We feel that we are protectors. So if you cry, it's okay for us to protect you. The question that is running in our minds at some point is, if we cry, who's going to protect us?
Mm.
Maybe I feel if I cry in front of her, I'll be making the entire family vulnerable. I might not have that protected status. So these are things that are consciously and subconsciously playing in our minds. But here's something else I wanted to say also about this whole issue. I think sometimes some women think that in the moment they think that we act like them. Let me just say this: all men, maybe all men will agree with me on this one. All men, we don't like to be vulnerable. We don't like to be vulnerable. We don't. That's who we are. That's just our nature. We try to hold it in as much as we can to not be vulnerable. We don't.
I think it's because of this concept that y'all forgive me. I think I'm raising my kids totally opposite. I'm softer with my son than I am with my daughter. I expect her to be like me in a sense where we don't cry. We don't cry in front of people.
Please don't teach Ali get your team, please.
We
Thank you.
chest
Mm-mm,
up,
mm-mm,
Prudence.
mm-mm.
But with LJ, I don't know. I don't know if because I'm like I don't want you to grow up in this society where it's like you feel like you can't do these things. So I'm softer with him and with her I'm like you I mean she's already like she acts like me in a sense where like her emotions is like if she cries it's like and you ask her why are you crying nothing and then she just wipes it off and boom she's done with it. But maybe it's wrong but
Please, please,
but
please. Don't bring that
Listen,
again. Let
but
me
it's
have
the
you
same
get to your
thing
team.
for me and Gabby. Gabby, she's the girl. Nope, not emotional at all. Sometimes I'd be like she's not. Where Shamari had a bad day at school, he's gonna be in his room, and if when I go there, if I just ask him son what's wrong, he's gonna express to me. So my husband always said that his son because I cry at the drop of a dime. Like,
That she do. That she do.
Yeah.
That
so
she do.
I would be watching that movie with my husband, and I would really be like, "Boo hoo!" He be like, "My God, what a problem!" Like, this is sad. Why can't you show that this is sad?
Yeah.
Like, you know, this is sad. Then I'll be looking on your eye to see if I see a little tear. Like it's
Mhm.
okay.
What is that
Stevie,
show
looking
that?
for people to cry for, go with
What is
Hawa and
that show
Jennifer. They
that
will cry with you. Look
I
at
was
that
them.
about to say, you already know me and
So
my
how
tears.
so wait, go back to that thing. So I want to cry, baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Hawa and Jennifer will
I
cry.
am,
Two of them
I
will
am
cry.
Hawaii,
the
I
way
If you're
Steve,
looking for somebody,
my
to
expression
cry
is
with you, that's two of them.
85% of the time, my expression is in my tears. Like
That's
I
two of them.
cry.
So that means you're not two and cry for men, baby.
Yes.
You see that thing, my girl, let me tell you, God bless you.
The only member there.
I will be honest with you, Steve. Yes. Me and I cry for men, Benny. Plenty of time.
Wow, you can be like Brim, we would be doing like Brim, man, don't cry.
but our cry ain't got so that's it ain't got nothing to do with a man. We will cry.
No,
I
that
will.
one I'm interested in.
You
I'm
can't
interested in
tell a
the
story. You ask somebody to tell a story right now. We'll start crying. Like
Oh yeah, Steve. Don't give me a sad story. Like I'm gonna cry. Wait, I'm gonna cry with you when I don't even know you. Like,
Yeah, this is the funniest thing.
Yeah,
Duku is
yeah.
like
How
that.
do you can you imagine yourself on a ladder crying
And
and
let me tell you something too. The time of Ted you get on your wife too. If you're looking for another person to
She
cry,
is
she
like
ready to
that.
open and whistle. Oh my god.
oh my
oh,
god.
God.
And
what
I'm
the way
looking
you
at
have you
her
talk?
like, what is going
Oh,
on here?
but
You
Steve,
are.
Steve, I don't know if you guys touched on this. I just have a question
Mhm.
about vulnerability. Is there a reason that you feel like you cannot be like specific reason why men feel they can't be vulnerable with women specifically? Not so of that's how we were raised or we were not this. I just feel like because
I want
it's
to say you were late on the show. We answered that question already.
no, I didn't
That
remember
was the
hearing
first
that part.
question, Howard. That was the first question there, Howard.
Okay, I didn't hear that part because I
Oh
guess
yeah,
that's when the person was coming inside. So I
oh
just
yeah.
want
The answer at the time because we me are talkative.
no, that's not a good answer.
Yeah, different one. Yeah, yeah.
So Hawa, you know the way we are made as men, and maybe you will know a little more about this from a nursing or scientific standpoint. You see the projection and the estrogen, and we men we have similar hormones, right? That we have, but our own is different. The way how a woman will feel emotional around her cycle and so forth, it don't happen to us like that as men. It don't, right? We men have that energy, that adrenaline, that uh, desire, right? So we transition that into becoming very energetic and becoming macho. Let me put it that way, you know. And so because also of pride, that's how we are. That's how we are made, and that's why it is critically important for you to not want to see us as a woman. Sometimes I think women kind of mistake that part. They think we should react to issues like them. They don't see us as men, especially if they really, really need us in that moment to be supportive, to be empathetic, and so forth. Let's take, for example, Jennifer start crying because a movie is, or Karen start crying maybe because SB never wrote her name on the show, right?
Yeah, I like it.
There you go.
I take the example back. I take it back.
I like it.
I take that example back. Look at Jennifer too. Look at okay, let's take it back, right? Let's say SB start writing plenty about what her name, Vanessa on the show, right? And Jennifer. Oh God, I'm gonna put in trouble.
Karina.
Karina.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Don't put people in trouble around here.
Why I say now because they've been watching the show too. Sorry, Chi, I take it by her. But Karina, SB start writing plenty about her on the show, right?
That's to the point.
Then she get emotional. Instead of laughing and smiling, she start crying, right?
I will definitely recording that day.
And I know Fair will be recording because the nigga how much she gave me say like, what?
That would be the day.
But long story short, our emotions are not like women. So we might not respond in an emotional way. It does not mean that there are some men that might not be emotional or so forth. That's why I've even challenged some people to the point that we are uniquely made that men normally can fit in women's gene. because of the way your jeans are made, right?
So what happened to the skinny jeans that they're wearing now?
With skinny jeans.
Okay, go ahead.
You're not wearing that.
But no, Steve, I think you're looking at the emotional aspect of it. I'm not saying that you should be like an emotional being just walking around.
Mhm.
I'm just saying vulnerable in the sense that it's okay for you to not have this manliness about you at all time. You don't have to walk around and be sharing tears and be that emotional, expressing yourself like, but just it's okay also to, especially if somebody is your personal person, like you are like my husband. I'll give my husband, like I need you, like I should be your space that you can be vulnerable with. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying to come around and be crying all the time. I'm just saying that there shouldn't be any explanation as far as we men, this is how we're supposed to be. No, for me, you shouldn't be that way to me. I'm your
but it all starts from childhood. Though. We're not raised that way. We're not taught that way.
Yeah,
So
but we're talking about Steve. Some of this relationship that we're speaking of, we're talking about. This is not This is not this girl you've been dating for 2 years that you say, "Oh, I have to be a certain way."
Right.
Or I'm saying, if I've given you the space, I'm the kind of person that you know me as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to shut you down if you come and be vulnerable to me. So you know the people you're dealing with. So even though you know me as that type of person, you're still holding on to that. Why can't you let it go?
And
your partner can.
And you know the reason why? The reason is simple. You know the reason why we can't do that, or why that might not happen? Because at the end of the day, you are not our mothers.
Some of them don't.
But we're not trying to be your mom.
Exactly.
I'm the one that see you naked. I'm
That's
the one that see you.
But you know how many person saw him naked before you see him?
I'm just saying to you.
No, what are you talking?
I'm saying to you, I see you at your weakest, right? I see you at your lowest. I see you in a vulnerable state already.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that's physically.
Right.
Yes.
So why not let that just come naturally without holding on to it to say, oh, I gotta wait. I gotta be macho.
Yeah, because that part has mostly what they get in love. Yeah.
It was the I'm the nazi the man.
Yeah, but wait, maybe I'm gonna say that.
Oh, we love you. We love you. Here come SB. I'm just saying that's your most vulnerable state that we see you in, right? Think about it. Your weakest state.
He can't stand up in front of everybody naked.
No.
So
we gotta get this.
Alvin says we are supposed to be we as in men are supposed to be the strongest the strongest shoulder you can lean on. So why would you cry, in front of your woman if you
exactly?
It's not about strong. You can be strong.
But that's how you see it.
You guys are missing the point. It's not about strength. It's not about strength.
Yeah, but the thing about it is you are seeing it from a woman's perspective that we ought to be vulnerable. You see it as we ought to be vulnerable because when this man is sick, maybe you care for him. This man, even though somebody else, saw that they get part before you see him now, so all the extra, you see what I'm saying? You understand? But long story short, I gotta go, please. But here's the issue though. Here's the issue, however. You can't say we must be vulnerable to let it happen naturally, right?
I'm not saying you must be. I'm saying why not be?
Because we are not willing to be at that point yet.
I get it.
What the issue of naked have been, maybe the man want to do something, so he got to be naked. You would do something.
No, you don't know what you're dragging it.
I can't.
I like what Alvin says. Like,
yeah. So how
I gotta go to politics. Can I run, please?
Yes, you can run. That was the last question, so you can go. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
No, how wait.
Yeah. So
wait a minute. What that person said? What?
what women
women
don't
don't.
And
realize,
what women don't realize.
A Mercedes
doesn't
Benz doesn't
change.
change to a Toyota because of who's driving it. If you built to be strong, no amount of love will change the man.
So pretty much men are built like that, so nothing else can change them.
Yeah, so men are built like that. Nothing else can change them. But with all things constant, considering everything else, with the understanding, with the time working together, until that becomes a safe space, until it becomes a safe space, it will be hard for you to get him to cry on your lap.
Hmm.
Look, I beg you
I
to
don't even think for
I
me.
don't I don't
I
think
don't
it's
even
always
think it's
a I
about
don't think it's always about a safe space
the.
too.
I
I
don't
think
think it's
it's
about the
something
tears. I don't think what Hawaii is saying is the physical tears. He's saying be vulnerable.
vulnerable
Yes,
vulnerability.
That's
be
all I'm saying. I'll cry for all
It's
of us.
hard.
how hard is
I'll
it, baby? I need you. I'm
wait.
struggling.
I'll cry for all of us. I'll cry for all of us. I don't need you to shed tears. I got the
right.
tears part.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
Crying by it, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay, guys. I understand you, and I eat it.
Hey
Um,
there.
But
Yeah,
that needs to. I feel like that excuse of this is how we were brought up.
yeah.
Okay, you was also brought up in an environment where they didn't say they love each other. Our parents barely used the word love, but now we are in this environment that love is being spread easily. You can look at your mom and dad and say, I love you. When we didn't get that growing up, right? So some things need to change. That's all I'm saying. So you can't continue to stay on that fact that say, oh, this is how we were brought up.
Yeah.
Okay, now your woman or your person that care about you is saying to you, like, I need to feel you at times, like in that area. Like that's all we're saying.
But no, but look what Tuku is saying. Absolutely. If I acknowledge that something is wrong with you and I'm noticing it and I want to pay attention, like you can just say, yes, something is wrong. Or yes, I'm not okay. Yes, you're
but
right. I'm not okay. But some of them can't even do that. It's
can
Yeah.
I
okay
just
not to be
add,
okay.
honestly, the way
and and some of the reasons why you'll see men in denial of their vulnerability also is just simply because of one the time that is brought up and the things that are happening. Um,
It's not what said no knock it there cry.
So
no,
wait, Thomas, come. I will pet you. Goodbye. I will pet you.
can I just say I really understand where the men are coming from this perspective
Of course you do.
because
Why you? Of course, you will say you understand.
hold on
Just
now,
sit down and be
how
quiet
do
now.
you grow up? Yeah, it's important. I grew up with a single mom, right? Who, she taught you like you gotta work, you gotta earn for yourself, you gotta do this, you are always on a go. Like she literally taught me how to maneuver my way around. So in the end, I didn't need to depend on anybody. I started working, I was 14. Like it's for me to ask people for something, it'll be very, very hard. And
Yeah.
specifically, I mean like men, right? Or for me to sit there and like break it down to you, where it's like I might tell you something what's wrong, but like I ain't sitting there going boo hoo. Like
I
no.
think yeah, people got beg you said that I get it. I want to.
And when I first came on, I noticed you was talking about how you are tougher on Prue about not sharing too much emotions, and that you're softer on LJ. Um, I try to. I think Siani see mommy being very expressive with my emotions. So they all when the children cry in the house, everybody say you like your mom. When Jonathan cried, Jonathan is like his mom. Or when Siani cried, Siani, you're like crying too much because I don't know. For me, I feel like emotions should be expressed freely without being restricted, boy or girl.
I
And
mean,
and
we emotional, so we definitely agree.
so I'm teaching my children
Oh,
that
like
when
the
Jonathan
middle,
is
the
frustrated
two
about something,
emotional
I want
people.
you to talk about it. And if you have to cry about it. It's okay. So it's something that it starts at a young age, but nothing is embedded in you that if you purpose in your heart that you want to change, that you can't change it. And that's what we're saying. This whole mindset of this is how we were. No, you can change it now if you have a person, if you're in this environment that is pushing towards that. Let's talk more. Let's have therapy more. Let's conversate more. Let's reassure more. Let's be vulnerable more. So if you have an environment that is pushing towards that because they want your men to be more open, because the closeness have brought a lot of problems, why not?
But that's what we're saying. The space, it has to be right. The conversations and the time that the conversation that you want to have are being held. It all has to play into
Agree.
that right moment. And also when that conversation is being held, how you receive it and your response towards that will cause the men to become more vulnerable, or it may cause them to shut down even more than the past. So it's a mixture of all of that, and you understanding to compromise some part from your side, and the man kind of like just coming in. Because sometimes, like we said earlier in the beginning, sometimes we just want you to be a listening ear.
Yeah.
And when that happens initially, and we don't find you or see you as a listening ear next time, we don't want you to be listening ear for us.
Thank you,
And
Thomas.
that's and you
I
know what, Thomas?
totally
And you know
agree
what,
with you.
Thomas? You also have to realize we pass on this message to each other one day, and it was about a friend calling another friend, and the friend said, "How are you doing?" And a friend said to that friend, Are you ready to really hear how I'm doing? Or are you just asking this question? Because sometimes mentally, I'm only saying, How you doing? Oh, for you to just say, I'm okay. But my mind, body, soul, and spirit may not be prepared for your down, whatever you want to pull in my spirit at the time. So I say this to you. A woman may ask you how you doing or asking you for your whatever, and you may think that she's not fully paying attention. Or I'm saying, don't judge her because of her first reaction. You don't know what
Yeah.
she's going through at that time. That's why relationship is what it is, because you can say, okay, now let's really sit down and talk. Like, are you really able to listen to what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna need you to be attentive, right? Like, if you really want me to be vulnerable with you, is when you speak up. Like, I have these things I need to get off my chest. But y'all don't do it. Y'all can shut people down as soon as they start, or they're not paying too much attention, or you're not getting the response. And that's bad on so many levels because you don't know what that person's mind is. As you like, I could be doing 50 things for the children, but you want to be vulnerable with me at that time. What makes you think I'll pay attention to just you?
So again, Howard, it comes from the point interested, right? For example, you learn to say ABC a certain way. The way you learn it at first, you improve on that because it was the same. Had it changed the second or third time, you wouldn't have gone back to the first way. So the first impression, and we all know that first impression, what you get out of there, has a big deal to do with how the
Serio.
follow ups are going to come.
No, man, we're
I
talking about this. You got mad, Byron.
put pepper in my eye as soon as I open.
Okay, see what team Byron right here
So
too.
all I'm saying is that you don't judge someone, especially if you're talking to a woman, and let sometimes her reaction may not be what you want, but don't just be like, all right, I'm done. Like give her a chance. Because you don't know when I said what I said is you don't know what that person's mind is as well. That's why when that girl said to her friend, like, are you really like you really want to know how I'm doing? Because I need you to really be mentally there to hear me, right?
Mm.
Like you don't know. So you stop.
I, absolutely. And that question she came back with saying, "Oh, are you ready to listen?" That's probably because in the past, when that question was asked, and she said something about it, it was taken a different way. So now she's like, "Okay, all the times I've been saying this, you ready to listen?" So that's the same
No,
thing,
no, no,
right?
no, no, no. You're looking at it from a past experience. Now we got to come to this part. I'm looking at it as I want you to be really sure that you're ready to listen to what I'm saying.
Like,
That's it.
like,
So you're
like,
There is
like
no
my
past
so
patience.
experience.
you're
It's a lot,
So you're
Thomas.
talk, you're talking about someone who haven't had an experience with someone at all, but
Yes, it
just
doesn't have to
at
be
the
past
first.
experiences. I'm saying to you as a person who's given the information, you have to be open to
Like
also
the
knowing that.
burden, Thomas, the burden that I'm carrying. If you ask me, Jennifer, how are you? If I explain everything that's happening to me right now, are you, Thomas, mentally able to handle it? Because
That's it. It doesn't have to have nothing to do with past experiences.
So again, I understand that because it's my first time is my first time hearing it, right? And because it's my first time hearing it, remember people are different. I can take it. I don't know if someone else will be able to take it. Like I can tell you that I'm able to sit before you and listen to what you have to explain and tell you straight up, listen, I understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
You don't have to be going through it, but you're going through it. Now that does not mean it's right for you to go through it, right? So here's what I can advise. Here's what I can recommend. In order for you to be helped, in order for you to not feel this way, this is how I feel. This if you do this, if you do that, I think that you will feel much more better. Now I can do
Mhm.
that, but again, I don't know about others.
But and
Mm.
how I think Alvin makes a good point too. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but like you have to be ready to. It's not gonna be this big intro like the man not gonna sit down and be dramatic and. But
No,
it's like
nobody want that,
it's like
Karina.
little things like nuggets that they might be dropping that
Don't drop nuggets. Assumption make a man look like a fool. Don't drop
if you're not
nuggets.
keen to it, then
No.
you might just miss the moment too.
No,
I
it's
see
no movement.
he's
It's
coming
no
from
movement
that.
because that's you testing people. It's no movement. It's if you want to say something, Karina, you say it. Don't drop clues. Don't drop nuggets. Don't drop that so they can say you want a man to already read your mind. I don't need to read
Well,
your
let me
mind
see. Let her finish. Were you saying that what would when he dropped the clues and the nuggets? What is that for? For the woman to pay
to pay
attention?
attention.
Huh, Karina?
Yeah, in a sense where it's not okay. Now we're sitting and I'm asking you, oh, hey, are you okay? Then the man just, vomits it out. It could be during the day where you text and maybe they voice out frustration. Maybe you can take that opportunity there to not so much push it like you gotta tell me, but just like the way you will respond to it maybe might open it up and you might not get that complete feeling that day, but it could leave room into just talk about it another time. But you're not probably the moment I guess he's saying that we're looking for that big moment. We probably won't get it the way we expect it because I don't think it's not a movie. The way I
I don't think it's reality to look for a big
You're like,
moment.
I'm not okay.
yeah,
I don't think no, Karina. I don't think it's reality to look for a big moment in somebody being vulnerable. That's just not reality. The conversation
So
is intentional conversation. If you're having an intentional conversation, like I really want to know how this is making you feel. I really want to know how you like it's intentional. Like I'm trying to get you to open. It's not like, oh, today we're gonna talk about it at this time at 5 o'clock. I need you to be vulnerable with me 5 o'clock today. It doesn't work that way, Karina. It's about being intentional in your conversation with the person. Like Jennifer, I really noticed that you've been down. Like I need you to really break it down to me. Husband, I really like I heard your voice earlier. Now we're talking about it. I don't need you to 5 o'clock today. Let's talk about how you
let's use both of us example real quick, right? When you text me and say, hey, sis, how are you doing today? The little that I say, it means so much more to me than you saying, oh, Karina didn't really say much to me. Or the little that me and Vanessa might be texting, what I'm telling her, I think is a big deal. So
thank
I,
you, Favor. Go
I
ahead.
yeah,
what
That's you know
is
what that's true. That's true because let me just say for Karina, like I remember so many people say to me, it can't get nothing out of Karina. Does she respond to you? Does she say this? Does she say that? And the little that I was getting out of her, I felt like it was sufficient, like she was being expressive, that she was giving me what she could give me at that moment. So I think I hear what I was saying, but then sometimes too we have to take people for what they are. That sometimes, yes, I'm not saying that they don't have to work on it. They definitely need to work on it, but sometimes people just are not able to fully lay it out sometimes like some of us or give more of what it is that we're looking for. The little bit that they are giving you is to them it's, oh, I've really expressed myself to you.
yeah.
Okay, Favor, I like that. You okay, babe? No, I'm not okay. I'm here when you want to talk.
That's
Yeah.
it.
But when
It's not a
and
set
then
You
time.
say
It's
that.
and then
being intentional.
and then
It's not set. It's
and then
just
someone talked about communication in the beginning. Communication. It falls back on communication. But when we talk about communication, how often do we respect another person's perspective of communication? Because the thing is, communication is not just, oh, okay, we have to talk. We don't always have to talk. We can communicate through actions. Like there are certain patterns that you watch someone and you see them go by certain patterns. And if you really pay attention, like I know you just said, we don't have to pay attention every single time. But when you're communicating to you in a conversation method, that's the other person paying attention. So why do you think that you should not pay attention to their method of communication through actions versus them paying attention to you through conversation? So it's a give and take, right? You have to give certain things to be able to receive certain things. And at the end of the day, it makes all the sense in the world if both parties are able to compromise one for another. At time in the relationship when it starts up, the lady will be the one who will really be in the forefront with communication. Or before we sleep tonight, let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. Now, mind you, some men get accustomed to that. Some men they push back on that, and they try for you to understand their pattern. Like, pick your timing. There are certain time that you see the man he's in a certain mood. That's when to get like during those moments you will get anything that you want. If you find the wrong time, that if a man who likes to sleep, you're working on the net, he will sit on the bed, and the only thing you will get from him is yes, sorry.
So what you are saying is when they're ready to get in knocking at the best time to get what you need to get out of
I'm
it.
done with you,
Now
yo.
he
Reward
said
for me for
nicely,
it.
there's a time.
That's a
Brian, Brian, I know what I say. Oh, Brian, I know what I say. She trying to turn it around. I know what I say. Yeah.
Eh,
Is that what you're really saying, brother?
that's what
I do.
that's what I'm hearing.
And this is the reason why we're struggling right now because that black man and Byron telling Thomas he's a crybaby because he say he cry. First of all, I don't believe Thomas. Like
Thomas, Thomas supposed to be crying on my lap. Where's Thomas?
Thomas said he cry on the phone.
Thomas said he will come cry on my
It's a
lap.
crying
Thomas,
business.
stop.
It's not forced. If you're not crying, you're not crying. Then there goes Byron. Me and SB did a 100 push-up challenge. I was crying on my arm was hurting. We talking serious.
I don't know why you look at this. Like these comments is crazy.
Oh,
Can I
man.
just say something? Because
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
hey, a lot of sweet tea there, shout out to Tuku. She said that, the example that she gave, babe, are you okay? I'm here to talk, if you want to talk, all that stuff like that. Let's talk about the other side of this kind of situation.
She read it
Well,
all.
men just not comfortable talking to their spouse.
Yeah.
They can
That's
talk.
what I said.
They can
They
talk.
can talk.
Yeah.
They talk to other people. Most people are just okay opening, and it's not just men that are married or whatever the case might be. Some people are just okay with opening up to certain people. You might not be that person.
No.
Okay, and you
Hmm.
don't have to be that person. You can support the person emotionally, but it depends. Okay, some people are more comfortable sharing certain things with some people. I have certain people that I talk to about certain things. It's not because I don't like the other person or I like the other person more. It's just because it's a feeling. You
And maybe
know,
you can relate to the other person more too.
right?
Nobody gets
So,
that.
so
Y'all turn the comments off. Like,
Yeah.
sorry, Faith.
no, it's okay. But seriously, that's just another way to look at this whole situation as far as
Mhm.
with men just being, vulnerable. And another thing too, a lot of them are vulnerable with other men. That's just a thing. And
Yeah.
it might not be a women thing, even though we try to tell them, open up to us, we're here to listen if you want to
Listen,
talk. But a lot of them just prefer the bros, or prefer you
And
have,
and not even the bros. Some of them just prefer to keep it in. Like
yeah, keep
I
it
say to my husband, like we used to have conversations. because my friend circle, I have most of them.
Wait, who says
So
that?
I used to tell him like, if you're not talking to me, as long as you have somebody
Somebody.
to
Mhm.
talk to,
Yeah.
don't just hold that stuff in.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
me, I'm like a person who say we got to talk. I'm like, okay, it's been too long. Let's sit down and talk. What's happening? Let's talk, right? Because I need.
Somebody take Byron out of the chat, man.
I
Get
don't
out.
So distracted tonight.
Get Byron out.
I think I can keep
And can I just say this? Sometimes the best time to talk to, I know we've been joking about this, is after that process, after the bedroom.
after the knocking.
after Nugget, I just say sex. After
But
sex.
Yeah,
but
but wait,
that's
can
what, see how I didn't we didn't have to make that part explicit, but you know, like the timing had to be right.
wait,
But
wait,
I want
Thomas,
to say, I
Thomas,
heard what
wait,
my brother said. I heard
Thomas,
it clearly.
you didn't have to make it explicit, but let me just tell the people the best time to talk is after you're not do the thing when everybody.
Yeah, not for everybody.
You're
Like,
like,
wait. When
sleep.
you're not
No,
falling
not for
asleep,
everybody
right?
because some people can go to sleep right after that.
People don't
Because if
sleep.
I
My
put
mom
you to
said,
bed,
my
because if I
People
put
don't
you to bed,
yes.
how we gonna talk?
Yes.
I'm not
Like,
talking.
Who
I'm gonna
who
sleep.
I'm gonna need
That's
you.
why I
who
said
come and be
before.
who come and sit up and be having that kind of conversation with?
I said, that's why I said before.
Bedtime, honey.
Let me add another controversial topic. So men don't like to talk to the women because the women are not stupid.
That
They don't
part,
put that out there. They're scared. They rather think that business will be out there, will go to their friends, and their friends will
that part.
and then you have the mama baby's boy, the ones that who just rather talk to the mothers. That's just the way it is. It
Some
all
people won't
depends on the
sleep.
person.
I mean, absolutely. And then you have this side where um, he opens up and he starts to have a conversation with you about something that happened, and it turns into an accusation. Like, okay, like I'm telling you because this is what happened. Why are you trying to accuse me, or you trying to beat up this person that is not here right in front of me?
Let
Come
me
on
just say
now.
this: the easiest conversation to have is to have an open conversation where you're not going to come in with that judgmental mindset already, or just come in open. Let's just listen to each other. If we learn to really listen to each other, great. I'm talking about
I think
seriously.
after that.
You know what? I swear, if Mother Time will laugh on the show today, it's gonna be a serious topic. Oh,
Because
you're laughing.
so, and this whole my only thing I would take away from the conversation, I can't stand when y'all say that how we were brought up. Okay, we're in 2023. What we doing now?
I think next time I gotta come back earlier on the show. We
No, I
ready?
don't want to come back earlier. I
We
said
ready
the
to go.
thing
We
I
ready
got
to
from the
go in.
conversation is that part. At the end of the day, we need to get out of that. This is how we were brought up stage.
My
But
friend
you know,
of
that's the
the
reason
No,
why
no,
that's the reason why I
absolutely.
spoke
There's
about his son.
And Vanessa, don't be
Yeah.
hating that I came on the show late,
yes,
girl. It's all right. I'm already
there's
here.
more. More
You see what
explanation to
Byron
just
said? Byron said you
that's
let
how
her
we were
speak
brought up.
around
So I understand what
I
Excuse me,
do.
Byron. I like it too. I like those movies. Okay,
I love it. I'm a
especially
I'm a I'm a
Hallmark
romance at heart. I'm a hopeless
All
movies.
right, as a real co-host.
Barry. I'm a hopeless romance at heart. Like,
So am I, Hawa. So am I. But I
oh
just
God, you rough around the edges romance. So we'll leave it as that.
I mean,
Look at Faye shaking her head. Faye, I don't.
They ain't even want to
Because
talk
I'm
to
not into the romantic stuff. She like watching love movie, all that stuff. I'm not really into that.
listen. Y'all get time up this show. You get live.
Thomas, I got you.
Thomas, you know what? Thomas will miss you, man.
Oh, God.
They got in. I see her all in the chat. I swear.
Can I just add Lifetime movies suck these days?
What?
Lifetime movies. Tugu said she loves Lifetime movies. They suck these days.
Oh yeah, it's not the same.
Why are you still watching that time?
You know what, Alvin? Alvin,
Go on, TV.
you're 100% correct. If we realize that we're all different human beings coming together to make this work out, we'll be all right.
Tell her wow.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking now because you say a
how
web.
I was that read that one, so she got it.
Yeah, well, you say obviously his wife would never hear him say I need help.
Right.
That's
It's
not
all right.
good.
That's not right too,
That
though.
that I've on a war. He living in
No, so breaking that down, that does not mean she doesn't see when he needs help. She knows when she knows when he needs help because she follows his pattern. There are things that he does when he needs help, so she knows it, and so she will step in, and that's part of the communication part that I brought up about knowing your partner if they're not the talking type to pay attention to their mood and things like that.
That's true.
You want to be a psychologist and okay.
No, don't be psychologist. Just pay attention. When a man come, when a man comes from wherever, say he goes to work five days a week, 3 of those days,
Sure.
of all 5 days he come home with his tie complete fully dressed still, and one day he comes home without being fully dressed. You gotta you gotta notice those kind of things,
Oh, I don't
or
know that.
uh or he goes to work every day. He comes home and he eat right after as soon as he gets home. But then a day or so he comes and he does not eat 2 days in a row.
Hey, best friend.
And thank you. So then you have to start.
It
So
worked.
that's when now
It worked. It
you have
worked.
to start noticing things and
It worked.
start picking things up.
But Thomas, you got you, but you I get what you're saying. So that is something about how I was saying. What if she noticed it and now she wants to talk about it, but you don't want to be vulnerable? That's the same thing. So noticing it and the person still want to shut you off. What's the point of noticing it?
No, once it's noticed and it's being brought up in at the right timing, the conversation will be held because you're trying to get him to open up. Remember, it's just not to have a conversation. So you don't get him any old time. Like there are times where
I was
um
saying before with
you and your yeah, like there are times where you and your spouse maybe going through something, and men are the ones who actually do this one. Like they'll wait and be wait in like a happy moment and bring up those conversations like, hey man, like you did this XYZ time, I really didn't like it, and okay, oh did I? So that's how we roll, and that's our sign of saying, okay, you have to pick your timing as well. How to get me?
yeah, that's true. What is it? You're laughing again? Yeah, leave it.
I mean,
We're going to bed.
Yeah, man.
I know, right? I will explain to I guess
Yeah. Yes, really.
Thank you, yeah, brother. Don't
With
y'all
that
don't,
being
don't
said,
discourage our co-host. Thank you.
with that being said,
Stephanie.
yeah, I get it. I started from the beginning, but yeah, I get it.
Okay, the prosecution has rested.
Vanessa is ready for the night. It's Friday night.
I tired.
Yeah.
Before y'all go to bed, I have a random question to ask.
Oh God.
And what?
Random is not good.
Hey, Brenda, come here, Dion.
No, I just want.
The whole time they were telling you to touch, and I don't talk.
Come on, Faith, drop us.
Faye, I'm all for it. I'm drinking coffee.
Thank you, yeah. Anyway, y'all tell me your thing. At what age should a man stop referring to another grown woman as his bestie?
Oh, don't get me started.
That's
Wait.
it.
That's another topic for another day.
Yeah.
And Faith, please send that to Karina. Let her make it part of the topic list.
Wait, at what age?
At what age should a man
Go, brother.
stop calling a woman
A grown woman.
Why do we put an age limit for a man?
Well, we just want to know at what age we start referring to
Why should we have an age
Wait,
limit?
is he calling another man his best friend?
No, females.
But why should there be an age limit? Here we go again. It's
Is that a married man you're talking about?
Wait now.
No,
It's okay
okay.
for grown women like us. Wait,
Y'all should
Faith.
talk about this another time.
Wait, Faith. It's okay for grown women like us to refer to each other best friend, best friend. Why put a limit on a man to say what age? Why should there even be an age limit or even a conversation as you can't call her your best friend? Why?
First of all,
I don't think it's
do you
the
know?
man calling. I don't think about the age. I
I
think her
don't know
point
about
is
no. I don't
calling
know about
another
no woman
woman.
being your best friend. That's what I'm saying. I don't think about age.
Yeah,
I don't think
I forget the age.
best friend.
I don't. It's not
With that,
necessarily about age. Maybe I just brought up the question wrong.
yeah.
Well, at what point do you? Because for me, when I started in high school,
If
I
you're a single man, there's no point you stop.
besties. I have friends that I see as sisters, and it ain't that many of them. It's like two of them. But I don't like you go around using the term. But to me, I just feel like that was like a while ago. I don't. That's just not a mean thing. I
I
don't.
think your issue is. I think your issue is not the fact that, for example, if Thomas had a friend to be like, okay, Michelle is my best friend, you wouldn't have an issue with that. But if Thomas have a if it's Thomas and a female, that's what the issue is.
I just think it's ridiculous for a grown ass man to be calling a bunch of women his bestie.
It's
Sorry.
okay. It's not your friend.
Hey, you know what? Please make it a topic.
Oh, bestie.
Yes, bestie. Please make it a
Bestie.
topic. Please, bestie.
Okay.
If
Okay.
it's still sweet, like my bestie. The bestie, la bestie.
Well, we had a lot of men say we had a lot of men say bestie this weekend when we were in Vegas. That's funny, interesting.
Nobody was saying it to a man friend and they're not saying it to women.
Yeah, it was the men. It was the men.
They
But
were saying
still,
it to each other.
no. But what? Remember what I was saying when I heard the men say, it, I didn't feel a certain way. I like that.
No, we thought it was funny, actually. We thought it was cute.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
We appreciate your transparency, all of your
Yes.
knowledge, experience. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
No, but honestly, we will dive into
And
that.
don't worry, we will haul you again for Sunday air.
Yes.
Yeah, bring back for that topic because me and Corina feel very
Karina,
strong
please
about
write
it.
that topic down because Lord,
Very
it close to your
strongly
heart.
about it.
It
And
close
you
to your
will
heart.
hear my mouth.
It
Okay.
close to your heart.
No,
Make me,
I don't even know that the age thing or the.
make me sweat.
I don't know. I just think
I
it's.
think it's both. Maybe it's both.
I don't know, but I just feel like I've been around a lot of adult men, and
Right.
I see them say, my bestie is doing this for me. My bestie. To me, I just like, why can't you just say my friend? Why it just sounds weird to me.
But it's about a female or it's just hearing a man say bestie in general?
As a man, so for me, I feel like at an adult age, I just feel like that for a man using that towards a female, I just feel like it sounds kind of like
Okay, so it's just about the females, not about in general. Okay.
You
yeah.
see, that's why I feel like maybe why judge the man? Maybe the man will keep calling the person the best friend.
No, you're not calling no female best friend. I'm sorry.
Oh God. Wait, can we turn the question around? With a woman, is it okay for a woman to call a guy her best friend?
No, I don't have no man best friend either. No,
No.
no.
What
I
do
ain't
people
doing it.
have
Thank you.
of the opposite sex?
Alvin. Thank you. No grown man should be using the term bestie.
Okay, let me tell you, and I like how I joke.
Oh, whoever has agreed to please, yes, thank you. Listen, no.
Why
Something
people
inside, really, y'all?
You know what? I can't with SB. What are you talking
Wait,
about?
my own
Immigration
best
people?
friend, her best friend think that me and my best friend something inside. So wait, my best friend husband always accuse us that something inside. So me, but I get top later.
Who you and because I'm about to say you should know from first hand experience.
Oh, I've always been accused that me and my best friend.
You should know from first hand
at this
experience.
point is literally in his head.
It's
Nobody
all in his head that me and my best friend that we be best friending. So,
Mhm.
I honestly, I never heard a man refer to his male friend as bestie anyway.
Exactly.
I said I heard it that weekend.
We heard it all weekend. We heard it all the
Well,
past
maybe they
weekend.
put it. I be around. I always hear my homie.
No, it was until they were calling somebody PRN best friend. Oh,
Yeah.
PRN bestie.
Yeah, well, I know that men can be shady.
It was so funny. They were like being so shady.
And I just like the other one was very confident. Said, by the way, he's not your best friend. Oh no.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, yeah, we heard it a lot.
We heard it a lot.
yeah, but then it's okay to know. For me, when it comes to that term, it's very important, and I don't use it loosely.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
But I thought you retired. You say people.
A long time ago, ma.
Mm,
But can a woman and a man be best friend? No.
no. We'll put it as a topic.
If so, this is only single or versus
I can
married.
have I have brothers. I have brothers that I'm very close to. And no, they're not my best friend. They're my brothers and we're close. But no, they're not my best friends.
But what if you had a friend that's not your brother?
Y'all might want to scratch this
They
other
are my friends. That's what I'm saying. And they're
Oh,
my
you look at
friends,
you look
but
at
they're
them
my
to be-
brothers. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Tu confini o.
You go find your other bestie, man.
Tu
You got a
confini
man bestie. You got a man bestie, then get a woman bestie.
That's it.
So don't gonna run away, yeah. Well, after all the things you say, you get female best
Yeah,
friend.
he gave me my best friend.
And his wife, yeah, goes the best part. His wife knows them.
See, well, I like that because
That don't mean nothing.
no, it not
That don't mean nothing. If
No,
they do,
I don't want my husband having a female best friend.
guys.
Why?
hey guys,
Limo had like 75% female friends.
But that's the thing. Yeah, because I know he has a lot, might have a lot of female friends. It's okay. But don't call one of them my best friend.
Yeah, that be her going that. Oh, that's my bestie. How many he could use you to as his bestie and not just
None.
this is Vanessa or
He
oh,
just you said this is my sis or this is also. I said
Yeah.
you never said bestie to
you know what?
you.
No, he never said
Y'all
that.
church people, y'all church people that way I can just say brother.
When everybody like sister and brother. Me pa, I
Yeah,
got
y'all church people.
me sisters.
When you know the
Limo
crazy
did not
thing,
have a.
but
he
I
did
feel
not have
like
a
y'all
female
feel like
best
best
friend.
friend,
Karina,
best
Karina,
friend and sister. Which
Karina,
one's better?
Karina,
eh?
Best
Karina.
friend and
He
sister.
did not have a female best friend. I'm
Wait, hold on.
that. He did not have a female best
What you
friend.
say, Jen?
If I feel like best friend versus sister, which is it's better.
Like to
Sister,
refer to a female as a sister?
sister.
No, not a man in general. You Karina always say her best friend. She don't use the term best friend. She would rather say my sister or my sis. So like versus, I don't know. Like, don't you feel like if there's somebody move you from being a best friend to a sister, is that a downgrade or upgrade?
I think it's an upgrade.
It's
Um,
It's an upgrade. You're my
Y'all
sister.
say it again. Oh. It's a what?
You see, that's a family. That's an
You are my
upgrade.
sister. It's an upgrade.
It's
It's
a upgrade.
I feel not if you feel like it got changed off of offense.
No.
And that's what happened. It got changed based off of offense because it was like, oh, you using my title too loosely, so I will move you up to a different thing.
I'm saying,
Right?
I just know. I
feel
know.
Right?
Like I said.
sister,
I
it's
feel like it comes a time that you.
sister. That's a. If
That's
I
deep.
tell you my sister,
That's deep.
yeah.
That's what.
I said I like sister.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Yes, because if I upgrade you to my sister, like
Enjoy the iFood from
I upgraded you to sister title. Because Vanessa, the best friend title, like how we're talking about it, yeah, can be misplaced.
That teen say I dumped that best friend title ever since how I dumped me for Jennifer. I left that teen on the fence.
Best friends be wanting for the
Best
moment.
friend getting dumped.
Hey, man.
let
Vanessa.
Byron go to sleep tonight.
Vanessa, let me put Vanessa on. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, poor big.
Vanessa, you are my best friend, my sister, my dark chocolate,
Sister.
my cookie pie. Okay.
I mean, I can buy you.
Oh God.
Oh God.
I leave in here because they not put I don't know Marvin Gaye in the background or I go in the background.
You know what?
Yeah, you tell your friend that you're just what? Wait, what?
Good night, Vanessa.
He said, my whole life I've always helped females.
Uh-huh.
And if I can't call you best friend, then you're just not. Trust me, I have 4 best men in my wedding. If I call you my sister, that means you have been my best friend for over 10 years.
Thank you.
You have to earn that place in your life. And that's why I say,
So I'm gonna get men friend and women friend.
Yes, but he called like he
If I
referred to
can't
them as
call
his
you
sisters.
friend, then you're just not. Okay. Wait, if I can call you best friend, then you're just not friend. So you can't just refer to someone as a friend. They have to be.
He's saying that the women in his life, he referred to them as sisters. and that means they've been friends more than 10 years.
Guys,
All
hold
right,
on. I have to
Byron
give
got
SB
another,
a shout
Byron
out.
got another topic for you about the girls trip and the boys trip.
Let me get my shout out first. SB,
You know
you're
what?
my
You know what?
shout out to
Why do
you.
you want to see my screen? Oh God. Thomas, bye. Thomas, I'm doing this show for my living room, so it's okay.
Yeah, I beg you out today. Yeah.
What? I can see a lot of things in your background. I don't know what like. I see a lot.
Like what?
No, babe, I'm seeing like how big he wanted to be.
Oh.
No, he wants her to stand on the screen.
You want me to stand?
No. No, how you showed Vanessa just now. Do the same thing.
Why do I need to do that though? I will show everybody else.
Oh,
Hold on. Here goes Karina K. Hey.
Hi guys.
y'all don't show me like a blanket over me.
I see you. Here goes Faye.
Fit background, not easy, man.
Hey, I love your background. Barry, you want to see me? Hey, I ain't doing nothing. I'm sitting on the couch. Oh, God. It's all good, y'all. We're here for it.
We here for it.
Well, I'm not trouble with this SB man. I tell you what he man. SB.
Oh, hey, XB. How you doing?
Oh, he said a close up. Oh, you I cannot do. Thomas, bye.
Bye, Thomas. Good night.
Y'all have a good
I
night.
mean, let me be my friend today, yeah.
I'm going to talk.
My background, they want to explain it.
Jennifer, that topic though, let's save it.
What?
Should women, this girls and boys trip? Let's save it. Let's save it.
All right.
Yeah. That's important. Yeah, I agree.
Yes, I just try to screenshot it. But seriously, y'all, these people name, they're showing up be the same with audio, man. Y'all thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Outdid yourself tonight. It's almost 12 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta go. Y'all gotta go. Well, I
Stay
want to
on
be here.
in the comments.
Y'all been here for a long time. I was just backstage. All right,
Thank
yeah,
you guys for chiming in on the conversation. We truly
yes.
do. Y'all for coming in. All of our co-hosts, Thomas, it was so good seeing you tonight. Chiming in. Thank you.
And Thomas hang on to the last minute. Thanks, Howard.
Thomas, my lab ready when you're ready to cry.
Yeah. From all the way, Georgia.
No, when Thomas working on the show, he said, "Wow, look at that chocolate in the back." But I wasn't sure you're talking about Ted or Vanessa.
So no, nice. I wasn't sure you were talking about Vanessa or Hawa.
Oh,
I don't think you can reference Hawa as chocolate.
I'm not chocolate, but
Hawa wasn't even here. Hawa wasn't even on. So
options left.
We're talking about Vanessa.
I wasn't sure if that was Richmond.
Yo, I can never unsee it. I can't unsee it.
I can't do it.
We gotta go. It's the fact that we're all busting out laughing at the same time. Like everybody was trying to control it.
Shout out to my cousin for hopping on tonight. Alvin, love you.
Okay.
You're all family member there.
Yeah, shout out to. Oh Lord, shout out
to SB. I love you. That's not my family member.
Okay.
Let me clarify that. Yeah. It ain't my family member.
Take them backstage, Vanessa. Take them. They need.
See y'all.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Do you like to talk about religion? Do you like to talk about sex? Do you like trending topics? Then join us live
on our weekly podcast
and follow us on our various social media platforms under R.A.W Conversations.
Yo, something wrong with y'all.